It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Strap in, dicks. This one's gonna hurt.
Double guns, bitch.
But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi. Hello.
Time for another radio show. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We got a busy day, too. Very, very busy day.
Ball.
Kind of bummed. I thought you would have seen the John Spano thing by now.
No, I heard about it.
I want to discuss that so badly with you.
Who's John Spano?
I heard about
He
it.
bought the Islanders even though he had no money. Literally had no money. I think they said he was worth maybe a couple $100,000, or maybe he had a couple $100,000 in the bank. And he had to come up with $165 million in cash to buy the team. This was back in the mid-'90s.
Right.
He was our big, great white hope
Oh, yeah.
for us Islanders
Apparently.
fans.
And,
The Islanders were sucking bad, and this guy comes rolling in from Texas, 32-year-old guy that looks like he was 50 at the time, horseshoe bald, basically giving everyone a lot of hope that he's going to turn around the Islanders, keep them on Long Island, get a new arena, get rid of that stupid Islanders logo, the old one. Well, not the old one, the in-between one, I guess I should say, because then they went back to the old one. And then everything slowly but surely started falling apart on this guy. He needed to come up with $165 million. He was able to get a loan from a bank in Boston, Fleet Bank, for 80. Was it 80 or $85 million?
85 mil?
85 million by forging all sorts of documents.
How do you do that?
Well, it was the mid-'90s.
That just seems
He even
amazing.
Because they interview him in this thing, this 30 on 30 or 30 for 30. What is it called? 30 on 30?
30 for 30.
30 for 30. Sam saw it as well. And, he forged documents, and he even admits, because they interview him as he is today. It's like, I don't think anyone could get away with, forging documents like that.
Right.
But back then, he was able to do it. And Fleet Bank went for him and said, here's your $80 million. So then all he had to do was come up with another $80 million.
Yeah.
And then he had all sorts of excuses, and people started closing in on him, going, what the fuck's going on here? And he was able to make a deal going, look, I owe you 80. I think it was 85. I owe you 85, so I'll give you $17 million a year for the next 5 years. So he had to come up with the first $17 million payment. Once again, the guy only had a couple $100,000 to his name.
Which, if you think about it, that's broke.
Yes.
When you need 17 million.
And then the guy's like, look, I need my $17 million. He goes, I'm going to wire it, no problem. So he wires him $1,700.
Yeah.
And the guy has to call him up and go, there's some kind of mistake. It's supposed to be $17 million. This is missing a few zeros. I just got $1,700. He goes, that's impossible. But the bank must have fucked up.
The panic that had set in, too, because when he transferred the $1,700 and he owed them another $85 million, they had already signed the team to him.
Yeah.
They sold him the team even though he didn't have the money. Because he said, I'll pay you tomorrow if you sell me the team today.
He was a great talker, and he was able to go, oh, no, I'm good for it. And he would show all these documents of all his money and his finances. That it was tied up here in the Cayman Islands. It was tied up in England. It was this and that. But he had numbers that he was showing people.
He was pulling a Jerry Lundegaard.
Yes.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Yes.
Oh, we'll get those numbers to you. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll send them right over. Now, Mr. Lundegaard, if you don't send those over, we're going to have to recall those loans. Okay. That's exactly what he was doing.
Best panicked acting ever.
Oh, God, amazing.
Great.
You knew something awful was happening.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, right, good.
We're pretty busy, but that's the way we like it here.
And then is this the Clark Gillies clip?
It is just the trailer.
Oh, you want to see the trailer of this at least, Dan?
Uh-huh.
All right.
They were a team like no other. Hometown heroes.
Probably not.
Role models.
Probably nice.
Billy Smith.
Champions.
Bossy.
They were the most successful expansion franchise of all time.
We always said the success we had was our respect for the New York Islanders and what we learned from them.
And when the triumph ended, it was a long fall to the bottom.
And that was ugly. I wouldn't have bought a ticket to watch our team play. We sucked.
Mike Milbury.
Until a savior emerged.
All of a sudden, here comes this
Savior.
white knight, John Spano, in to save the Islanders.
There's been a commitment made here in Long Island by a fellow by the name of John Spano.
Fuck, Billy's talking.
Now he wants to turn the franchise around. I mean, it was our dream.
Turn this thing around.
Here's the next coming. You know, this is the next Messiah of Long Island.
He's coming in and he's going to take this franchise to the promised land.
He would walk into a room and there'd be thousands of Islander fans screaming his name.
Wow, the guy was great.
But the guy wasn't who he said he was. And in the end, the dream came crashing down.
He's being arrested.
John Spano's failed attempt to buy the New York Islanders spiraled into federal court today, where the 33-year-old businessman was arraigned on fraud charges on Long Island.
He committed mail fraud, he committed wire fraud, and he committed bank fraud. He jumped in with both feet and almost pulled off the American dream.
He fooled lots and lots of people.
Gary Bettman.
He toyed with us on so many levels. It was all his attempt to be a big shot.
They call it big
It was
shot.
everything I hoped it would be, and actually it was more. I mean, for 4 months, I owned the New York Islanders.
Look at him.
It's an amazing story, and you don't even have to be a hockey fan. You don't have to be an Islander fan.
What years was that?
Like 96-ish.
Do you remember him? Remember like?
Oh, we
him?
all did. We were all excited because after the Islanders won those Stanley Cups, you know, there was a lot of lean years, horrible years, and also this guy came in, like they said, like a white knight to save the franchise, and he was a bust. He was a fraud basically in the end.
A fraud.
He only had a couple $100,000 to his name, and he bought a fucking hockey team. That's pretty amazing.
Really?
Because no one was doing their research or their background checks or nothing.
He looked terrible for 33 too.
Oh my God, he looked like he was 50.
Awful.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so he was able to get the 80-85 from Fleet Bank in Boston. Oy. And then, you know, the owner who was selling the team's like, all right, now you owe me another $85 million? He goes, all right, I'll give you 17 over, you know, a year for the next 5 years. And then he wires him $1,700 in a panic because he doesn't have it. Thinking that's gonna like buy him some time.
$1,700.
Because who would buy that?
That's it.
On that level where guys are like multi-millionaires / almost billionaires, if something like that happens, you're not going to think that the guy actually meant to wire you $1,700.
Right.
You got to assume right off the bat that's just some ridiculous banking error.
But then he went and blamed an IRA bombing that he saw on the news.
Yeah.
On the delay of payment.
Another delay of payment.
Mike Milbury was so good on it.
He was great. Well, Mike Milbury is a jerk.
He called him an asshole.
Jerk.
And he's calling Spano an asshole and a jerk.
Yeah.
Mike Milbury's ornery.
They kept showing the clips of Mike Milbury going into the stands and beating up the Rangers fan with his own shoe.
Yeah, that's a very famous hockey clip.
Oh, yeah.
Milbury when he was playing for
remember
the
that
Bruins.
one, yep.
He hates, to this day, I think, the Rangers.
Kevin Connolly said he just threw that clip in over and over because he knew that wherever you throw it in, it's going to be a laugh.
Yeah, of course. Kevin Connolly did a great job. He directed the 30 for 30. So.
Oh, is that why he was here? He was here promoting that?
Was he promoting that?
Yeah.
Did we try to get him on?
Well, I think you guys passed on him. I interviewed him.
I don't think. Did we pass on? I don't know if I would have passed on that one. Being an Islander fan.
He might have been because he was in the afternoon,
I don't think we passed on that one, to be honest with you. I think it was a timing issue. We would have had him on in a second. He's a hardcore Islander fan, born and raised on Long Island. So.
Yeah.
And then in the end, you know, it all came crumbling down, and he gets arrested, and he does 4 years in prison. And then he moves back to Ohio and starts a small business, and then he got caught there.
I guess apparently was Mr. Fraud over there, too.
And then had to do another 4 years, but they were very vague about that. I'm not sure if he did another 4 years in prison or it was probation or what. The only thing he messed up on with this whole thing was not telling us what he's doing today. Like, what is John Spano doing today? You interviewed him throughout the entire documentary. What is he doing today?
Oh, they didn't do a little update?
No. They should have had, you know, the graphic, you know, with the music, and you freeze frame the guy and go, this is what he's doing now.
You have. I even like that with fictional characters. I certainly want that with the real guy.
You have to. That's but besides that, it was well done. Gives you the whole history of the Islanders, where they came from, and how bad it got, and this guy trying to buy the team. That's how desperate they were, though. They're like, yeah, all right, yeah, if this guy wants the fucking team, give it to him. Fuck it.
His spin on it was so stupid. At the end of the movie, he said, my dad said a lot of people, they have these dreams and they don't even try it. Son, you tried.
It was criminal.
He lied.
Yeah.
He didn't try
He was a liar.
Yeah, I want to be an ice skater. I can fool people. It's my dream.
And instead of saying, I shouldn't have done this, he goes, if I had one more week, I would have pulled this off. He's thinking one more week, he would have figured out how to get that $17 million.
How
for
would
the
he
first
get
payment.
$17 million?
But then he would have to get another $17 million the next year.
Yeah, you worry about that when it comes.
Exactly.
And then he's partying at the Garden City Hotel. That's a big famous spot out there on Long Island. A lot of the rich and famous go.
Sure.
When they're hanging out on Long Island, and a lot of the Islanders and the organization used to. I'm not sure if they still hang out there. I have no idea, but he would go there and party and get whores and stuff.
Whores.
He was sitting in the lounge just partying with Mike Milbury, and he goes, "Hey, I got some girls. They're going to do each other, and then they're going to do us."
Wow.
And he billed the team hundreds of thousands of dollars because he was flying around and partying.
I was living the life.
and he had no money.
Right?
He had no money.
But at the end of the day, they said he was actually a good owner because when they did finally sell the team after they got it back from him, they sold the team for more than they were going to sell it to him.
Wow.
They made an extra $30 million.
He increased the value.
Yeah.
He made an extra $30 million, the other guy, the old owner that was trying to sell it to Spano.
All because he got that Gorton's Fisherman off the jersey.
Right.
That's stupid Gordon's
What
Fisherman.
was the old logo?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, they decided the Islanders went so bad, we got to change the logo, and we all hated it as fans.
It was terrible.
It looked like that's that.
Look at that dumb.
Oh, yuck. Now, wait, that was the original one? Or that's
No.
That's the 96 logo.
It's
Yeah,
a
that was like kind of
fisherman.
mid-90s.
With a hockey stick.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, if you live on Long Island, you fish,
Yeah, right?
There's a fishing community here and there.
But what's the old one? What's the other one? What's the one that the fans like?
The one that they have now.
Yeah,
Is this
went
the original
back
one?
to it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, they just went back that,
Okay.
The old Long Island, New York, the Y is a hockey stick, and the Islanders across the bottom.
Oh, I like the fisherman. I think he's fun.
You like the fisherman?
I think it's fun.
But it's like a horrible,
it's terrible
drawing and just,
yeah, it's very complicated
It
looking.
really is. You don't even really know what it is
It's
at
a big
first.
blue blob at first. and then
Exactly.
You got to look. Is it a mountain?
Oh, he's having fun.
What is it? That's terrible. Who designed that?
Can you imagine, I was thinking when I was watching this, the panic this guy must have felt.
Oh,
Just waiting
imagine
for. It's the famous thing we always talk about, where the feds are closing in, they're going to be knocking on his door any night. He talks about how the stress and the pressure, and he had a grandfather clock down the hall. He lived in Texas, but he came up here a lot.
The tick-tock.
And he would just hear the tick-tock and it ringing 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and he's just sitting there in bed going, how the fuck am I going to pull this off?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he said he would just stay up all night, realizing that this was the only time he had, because as soon as the sun came up, it was going to be a whole new set of problems.
Yep.
Oh, God. It's like our old bit. If he did fall asleep,
Of course.
You hear that nice fucking, you're just there,
Wait,
you
what do
lay
you
in
mean?
bed, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I finally got some sleep. Oh, my God. That was nice. Oh, I haven't slept well in a long time. Oh, what time is it? Oh, 7 a.m. Oh, God. What am I going to do today? I think I have something to do. Oh, my God, I got to come up with $17 million. Oh, my God, I'm a complete fraud. Oh, my God.
I think we could get him on the show, too, by the way.
Yeah.
John Spano?
Yeah, I think he's talking. He's talking.
He's checking.
He is talking. He wanted to be a big shot. That's why this thing's called Big Shot.
Didn't you?
And he was a Texas guy. He kind of hung out with Staubach a little bit.
Did he?
A little bit. or used his company. There was some kind of connection to Staubach.
I'm sure it was some kind of fucking ruse.
Jerry Jones would invite him to watch the Cowboys games in the box. So he was an up and coming businessman. He had a small business in Dallas. He did okay, but he wasn't worth even $1 million.
He wanted to skip all that building the business up to the point. Just skip over that and go right to the top.
And I didn't know this until I watched this. He went for 2 other teams before the Islanders.
Really?
He went for the Dallas North Stars, and then he went for the Florida Panthers.
What happened? They asked to see a bank statement, and it all fell apart?
Yeah, right?
Well, the Dallas North Stars is a really funny one because they're getting together to make this deal. Like, they're just starting to talk, and they go to lunch. And Spano's the guy that's going to buy the Dallas North Stars at the time.
Right.
So they're all having lunch discussing. It's early on. And the bill comes... And they all are assuming, I guess, in the business world, especially when you're making deals, everyone just knew it was Spano's check to pick up.
Yeah.
It was just a thing. You just know. So they're all just sitting there going, "What the fuck? The guy's not going to pick up the check.
Pick up the fucking check
for lunch." And he didn't pick up the check, and that was one of the first red flags.
Allow me to pay the check.
They're like,
okay,
"Why,
Ralph?"
They're like, "Why isn't he picking up the check?"
Wow.
There was some break-in protocol that everybody kind of
exactly. As far as deal making, I guess.
Yeah.
They just knew that, like, what? He's the one that's supposed to be paying for this, and he's not
at that point.
And then the Florida Panthers, they were starting to talk, but then I guess they got a new arena or something, so the owner didn't want to sell. So then
lucky.
Here come the Islanders.
Damn.
I loved it, man. I really liked it a lot, and I don't think you have to be a hockey
sounds great
/ sports fan to enjoy it.
Where do you see it?
ESPN.
Oh, okay. What's it, like an hour?
Yeah, the 30 for
2
30.
hours.
Hour and a half. The 30 for 30 is great. The Sugar Ray Leonard No Moss one was great, too. Oh, my God. That was awesome.
No Moss.
With Roberto Duran.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And what I learned about that one, I didn't realize they fought for the 3rd time. Did you know that?
No, I knew there was 2. I forgot.
Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran had 2 amazing fights, and then after No Moss, you fast forward, I think it was 8 years, it might have been 9 years. 9 years later, they fought, and they were both over the hill. Duran was 38 at the time, and they considered him over the hill, and Sugar Ray Leonard was only 33, and they considered him over the hill already at 33 years old.
For their 3rd fight?
For their 3rd fight, which I believe Leonard won, but it was like no one really remembers that fight. It was almost like a throwaway. But go watch No Moss as well. That's great.
I heard he's really heavy now, Duran.
It didn't seem heavy in the 30 for 30.
Was he shot recently?
Yeah,
maybe
it
lost
must.
weight.
Yeah, I mean he's a lot heavier than when he was boxing, but I didn't look at him like he was a fat guy or anything like that. So he's claiming that he had cramps, and he had to drop a lot of weight. He refuses to, tell anyone the truth because everyone's like, oh, that's bullshit.
He had cramps.
Well, he after he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, he went on a partying spree.
Yeah.
And gained a lot of weight. And the second fight was only, I didn't know this either, was only, because you forget, because nowadays they wait. They fought like 4 or 5 months later. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember.
After the first fight. So he had to drop a lot of weight quickly. And he's claiming because of that, he was, dehydrated pretty good, and he started cramping up.
A little crampy.
Yeah.
I told my gym teacher I had cramps once.
And
he called me like a faggot and said only girls get cramps, because I didn't know about periods and girls getting their cramps when they have periods. And I thought because I had a stomach ache and my intestines were and I was kind of ow.
Sure.
I said, "Oh, I can't do gym today. I have cramps." And he's like, "What are you, a faggot? Only girl get cramps." The good old days.
I love the fact that every older male
called me a faggot.
That you're a homosexual.
That's adorable.
Anyway. So that's what I did last night. I watched this fucking thing.
I watched a different documentary. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was the more tender side of Anthony. I watched that was called Sam, or Life According to Sam. That little kid with progeria. It was on HBO. Oh, it was terrible. I felt so bad. I know, I'm still going to be like, well, I'm just a normal kid. But it's like this woman, she's a doctor. She's married to a doctor, and they have this kid, and he's got progeria. There's only 250 progeria kids in the whole world.
Do they know before you're born?
No, I don't think they do.
You sure?
Nah, they figured it out. Like, they just isolated the gene for it now, so they don't even know.
There's only
like,
250.
Yeah. They don't even know, like, in utero that it's going to fuck you up or anything, that it's going to, the kid's going to be fucked up.
Dude, this looks like a tearjerker.
It was pretty sad.
Life According to Sam on HBO. Look at all the awards it's won.
I know. It's really good. He's like 13, though, so most of them, that's the top end of their fucking lifespan. 13. They had one that was 18. This girl from, like, India. Oh, man, was she a disaster.
Really?
Yeah. And then
they don't make it to 20, right?
Nah, I don't think they do. They don't make it past usually fucking 12, 13. So this kid's like fucking 13 at the time, and he's really like smart and just a nice kid, and he just looks so wacky. They show him in school, and he's fucking rattling off algebra to this other kid, like helping other kids in the class and stuff. And the mother and father are doctors.
Right.
And they had this kid, and like after a couple of months, they're kind of looking at the kid going like, something's not right. So they take the kid to the doctor and shit. And of course, the doctors don't know. They're not gonna like think it's something that only 250 kids in the whole world have. And then finally, one doctor was like, "I think your kid has progeria." And they looked at pictures of other progeria kids at that same age, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's exactly."
Wow. What's the physical sign?
The physical
thing?
The
first thing that they notice?
It's like the skin looks very thin and translucent, and you're jaundiced, and the eyes look a little fucking buggy and shit.
Well, that's
and then it just keeps
gaining
going.
a lot of weight.
Yeah, and the kid wasn't gaining weight.
Right.
That's another thing.
That's why the eyes look buggy.
But then, they get arthritic, big arthritic joints. Their cartilage and stuff gets also, their nose gets really big, and their ears get all fucked up, and their fingernails get all fucked up. And then the bad part physically is that their cardiovascular system, they start getting like hardening of the arteries and shit at fucking like 8.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's just
so
horrible.
The mother like dedicated a life to doing a study because they isolated the gene and then realized the gene had certain similarities to this drug. So they're like, all right, we're going to try this drug study. So they started doing that over the course of about 2.5 years, which is like, these kids are like little mayflies walking around.
Yeah, he must hate recess at school.
Yeah.
That's got to be like a year to him.
Oh, my God,
like,
right?
Seriously?
I know.
Let's just keep going.
Yeah. So they got a bunch of kids from all over the world with progeria and brought them in. Like, how many were it? Like 30 or something? 30 of these kids? Maybe more. And started giving them this drug. Now, the thing is, the way the FDA works, which is ridiculous, any FDA approval should be given to progeria drugs because, fucking kids.
They don't have the time.
They don't have the time to fuck around.
Yeah, what do they have to lose?
Exactly. So, it's usually done with a placebo group, and a group that's actually taking the drugs. But she didn't want to be... again, these kids don't have much time. She didn't want to not give some kids the drug and give other kids the drug. So she gave all the kids the drug. So in the FDA, there's this protocol that you have to go through. And they were like, well, no, you didn't have a test group with the placebo, so we're not going to approve any of this medication. And the medication apparently did slow down this aging process in these kids. But they wouldn't approve the fucking drug because they didn't have the test group properly.
Amazing, some fucking bureaucratic scumbag.
Exactly. It was so fucking ridiculous.
So where are they now?
Well,
with the whole drug thing.
She
is
got,
that going to be in the movie?
It's in the movie, yeah.
I don't know what happens to the kid, I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure he's dead, but I don't want to know it.
No, actually, I'll spoil it for you. The kid doesn't die by the end of the movie. He's actually 15 by the time the movie, or 16.
Is he taking the drug?
No. But they have this, they're kind of making headway and getting approval of some type of fucking treatment. There's no cure, there's just treatment. But they had all these other kids and stuff with progeria, and it's like, one kid winds up dying during the thing.
Like, what could the drug do that's worse if you're going to die so quickly? I mean,
exactly. That's just it. There should be like these exceptions.
Yeah, put them on an island or something if you're scared.
Right.
If you're scared they're going to turn into monsters or zombies, and at least give them a chance to continue living.
the best part of it, though, is this fucking kid. It's like, oh, he's got all this shit going on. And there he is in school, fucking, he's in band, and he's fucking, like, all kinds of activities and winning all kinds of awards for his studies and everything. And you just look and go, this kid's got such bullshit in his life.
What asshole teacher gives him a B?
Right?
Just give him A's across the board.
Yeah,
what are you
come
doing?
on, help out.
Leave him alone.
And all the kids in school were like fucking nice to him and hugging him and high-fiving him and shit. And
that's cool.
I have a story about him going to Disney and he gets on a ride, and it wasn't even like a roller coaster-y ride, and he broke 2 ribs.
Right.
Just
wow.
Fucking, yeah, because he's got fucking, osteo fucking porosis or whatever. It's just terrible.
Anthony's becoming a person.
No.
Between the kitten and the progeria.
I was just thinking that.
Well, I mean, I think our audience gets really confused by us.
I know. We're very
confused. You're going to do the progeria voice and get some jokes in, but we do have souls. Like, this brings up a point. A lot of people have sent me the clip of the 2 Down syndrome kids being they voted him prom king and queen. But they sent it to me like, oh, I can't wait for you guys to beat the shit out of these 2.
I know.
And I'm like, you just don't really. And I don't blame some people, I guess, because I understand what we do on a daily basis, but that's the type of thing we wouldn't go after.
It's not.
And they're like, more PC shit. I'm like, no, that's not it. What makes that story so fucking cool is that the whole high school got together and said, you know what, let's do a good thing here.
And when they dropped pig's blood on him at the end, it's really.
But it wasn't like they rigged the voting and
right.
Or the school decided. No, the students themselves came together and said, let's do this nice thing.
Right.
I'm saying this to you because I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
No,
dude, that's how I found out about this documentary. Somebody tweeted the link and goes, Anthony, you gotta see this.
Right.
I can't wait to hear you fucking goof on it.
This little fucker deserves everything you're gonna give him tomorrow.
Hit him with both barrels.
Right, make it hurt.
What the fuck would what could I possibly say?
And fair enough, it's subtle, but there is like, I don't know.
There's a balance. There's a humanity that sometimes people don't think that we have.
Right.
Like, I'll make fun of retarded people in an abstract thing.
Of course.
But as far as, like, if somebody tweets me a photo of a retarded kid with Tony Romo, that famous picture, I can't retweet that and goof on it. It's just too sad. It's like, there's a difference between taking a real kid who's retarded and fucking sending his picture out. It's like, Jesus.
And I'll tell you this, I turned the corner on, the kid that's doesn't have much time, and they give him the ball in the football games and let him run.
You did?
I think Jimmy was the only one in studio that was for it from the beginning, I believe. And I was like, oh, God, there's got to be something else you could do. I'm all in now. What does it fucking hurt?
Yeah.
I think it's pretty silly.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of, but I mean, I'm all in with that shit, too. Whatever.
Yeah, you give the boy a little happiness as opposed to the jocks who are going to have lifetimes of happiness.
Right.
Let the kid run. Fuck him.
Yeah, I saw in this documentary, he's on like a drumline thing at one of the football games, and they had to make a special harness for him so it doesn't just bust his fucking little bones. And he's playing the fucking drums, and the father's like in the bleachers, and he's
all proud, right?
Proud. It's just like fucking. And then the whole time you're just going, oh yeah, he's an absentee landlord.
Yeah.
There's no God. Where is your God?
Or people that are against, like, all this research that will fix this shit so you don't have to deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, not that there's that many, but...
I say
it's not that they're against. They got all their rules, and that's what's ridiculous.
I say you hack up fucking fetuses in a Cuisinart to get fucking cures for
Absolutely.
shit. Fuck it. Who cares?
Until they're 5.
Exactly.
They should have...
Until they're 5.
They should have you got nothing to lose drugs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's so obvious if this person is going to die, you got this new drug, it's the scenario, you got nothing to lose, so I know it's not approved, but fuck it.
And you have to literally sign away the kid's life.
Right.
Like if something happens, hey, you can't fucking sue us.
Right.
That's it, period. No getting a lawyer even.
I would love, I would love to know the
whatevs.
spin on that where they can't do that. Because I'm sure there's so many parents out there that know of drugs and things that they're still working on.
Yeah.
But they know their kid's running out of time or a relative or what have you. And it's like, all right, it's the nothing to lose.
And they would chance it because
they would chance it in a second. Yeah. Of course, you don't even have to go to the phones and ask people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Charlie in Philly. I fucked up. I meant to go to John. Charlie, you better be good.
More PC shit.
Sorry.
More PC shit.
Those dummies.
They really are.
I get so confused because I'm like, God, we do try to show different sides of ourselves.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I know we're animals. I'm not going to try to sit here and act like we're like, you know, great guys, but there is whatever.
If you take any stance that they think is inconsistent, not like, hey, I don't agree with your stance, like, you're a sellout, you've changed.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, dude, fucking relax.
Yeah. Let's say hi to Charlie in Philly.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
All right.
You're talking about the progeria. I watched a show last night on the Learning Channel. It was about these people. They don't age. It was like opposite progeria.
We did this one. There's a woman. It's creepy as all hell. Like her siblings are growing up around her, and she's pretty much stayed the same age. But the problem is she hasn't developed mentally though.
Right.
We did this. Do you remember that clip where they show her like family pictures for like 15 years, and everyone's growing up around her, and she's the exact same?
Wow, that's fucked up. Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Doctors baffled. What's the headline again for the people out there? Doctors baffled, intrigued by girl who doesn't age. Yes, Charlie. We played the clip on the air a while ago.
No, I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Yeah, that's fucked up. She's like, how old?
She
looks like a baby.
Yeah, they still have to treat her kind of like a toddler.
Yeah.
And I think she's upper teens or early 20s at this point, I think. If I remember correctly.
I'm trying to give that medicine to everyone. Yay.
Thanks, Charlie.
It's like Willy Wonka's Kissy Factory.
Yeah, she's 16.
16, okay. I meant to go to John, not Charlie, but that was good, Charlie. John in Maine, what's up?
Hey, boys, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, two things on that documentary I watched it the other night. One was on Ann was saying with a drug and the FDA, she has to get published by a medical journal. And so every time she submits it, they won't approve it unless she's published. So they denied her like 3 times.
Ew.
And then on the 3rd time, they did say if you revise it this way or that way, we'll accept it. So they finally accepted it. And so now the drug's in approval phase, and they're headed to the next step. But the thing about this disease is what she's discovered when she isolated this gene, and I'm not speaking from a medical point of view or anything, but the protein that ages us just basically builds up quicker in these kids, and it can't flow properly, I guess. And so that's what ages them so quickly. But they're thinking if she can isolate this and discover how to slow it down in these kids, they're saying basically she could create almost the fountain of youth, because if she could slow down aging and then you give it to a normal person, then what could that do for a normal human being?
Yeah, actually, it could benefit everybody. So let this lady go if she wants to take it on.
That's what we need. People living fucking hundreds of years.
Well,
100 more years of that? Oh, God.
Yeah, you look 300.
I would like to squeeze out another 100, though.
Yeah.
Just another 100. That'd be nice.
It relates to the heart disease, like all the Ant was saying, like cardiovascular and whatnot. That these kids are getting that. So it's the people that, eat shit all their lives and don't exercise, they get it, brought on. But it's the people that are born with sort of that genetic heart disease or high cholesterol, things like that, that this could save those people and get away from invasive surgeries and, prolonging drugs, et cetera, et cetera.
They didn't really get into to make you understand, because, that would be a totally different documentary, the genetics of it. But they showed, like, this one little fucking speck in the DNA that is different.
Yeah.
One little fucking speck that has to be. You realize the perfection that needs to take place during conception to have a normal kid come out. It's astounding that so many come out fucking normal. This one little fucking gene, and then they show, like,
these things, they look like fucking little logs, and they're linking together, and that's how, you know, this the matrix of a human is initially formed. And then they show what happens when this one little thing is wrong. Instead of linking end to end, one kind of falls on top of the other and just fucks the whole line up after that. And that's what happens. And it's like, that's all it takes.
So they can't just remove that log, that loggy thing.
You don't even know it's happening at the time.
The shit in DNA is still ridiculously tiny. You just need better microscopes. Blow that shit up.
Yeah,
that'll be a nice.
Dr. Opie's take.
I'm telling you,
we need bigger microscopes to see the shenanigans.
It's too tiny, so let's just blow everything up, and it's going to be very obvious what's going on.
Oh, fuck.
And then, like, operation, you're like, oh, okay, I got to get rid of this loggy thing.
Yeah. Bigger microscopes.
Just blow everything up, make it nice and big. John, thank you, sir.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
These will all be a thing of the past soon. Like, once they map, like Kurzweil said, once it's mapped, no more Down syndrome, no more progeria, no more cancer, all this shit will be
they're already
At least
doing
they
a lot of
fixed that Down syndrome thing. Well, not fixed it, but they can detect it.
Right.
They could detect that, which is an odd thing. I guess people that have Down syndrome children now, or not have them now, but are having them, are giving birth. It's an odd circumstance. I guess they're so dead set against abortion, or because you could find out very early on now with tests. But some people are just like, no, I'm not going to abort under any circumstances. So does that mean like people that have Down syndrome children now are very religious? Is that kind of like what happens?
What do you mean?
Because you're not aborting. If you realize that there's a problem, is it your religion that keeps you from doing it? Or, you know, it seems to me that the makeup of the parents of Down syndrome children today is a lot different than it used to be. Because it used to just be a crapshoot. You know, you didn't know until you gave birth.
I think there's probably some guilt involved, too, probably.
You think?
I don't know how easy that would be to do.
You're a daddy. Would you,
personally,
if you knew something was amiss, would you?
Here's the answer. I would
get the old Hoover out.
I would. This is a bad question, but I would absolutely go for the abort.
Right.
Thinking,
it's
okay,
not bad.
there's more kids in my ball bag, so and those kids, won't have a chance.
Yeah.
Now they get their chance.
Yeah.
But I don't think I don't know. I think my wife would fight me on it though.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd have to do.
I'd have a
Doc
tough
Martin.
You'd have to put your foot down and go, look, who pays the bills around here?
Where do you put your foot? Right on the abdomen.
I'd have a tough time with that, but I wouldn't be like skipping around. It would be a tough decision, but that's the direction I would.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be.
That's heavy shit.
It's not a decision to be taken lightly, I'm sure, but with the technology the way it is and the fact that they can detect certain things.
But I would also abort if I knew the kid was going to be a ginger, so,
that's true. All right. You got to do the world a service.
But that's a decision couples have to make, and I bet you there is like a little conflict there where one's like all in, like, no fucking way, I don't want to deal with this, and maybe the other person's like, no, we can deal with this.
Well, the quandary is how far do you go? All right, genetically, you see that your kid's going to have Down syndrome, you decide to abort.
They're picking the eye color at this point.
Now, if you could find out the intelligence or, eye color, I mean, where do you draw the line between, all right, abortion's legal, I know that the kid's going to be this, that, or the other thing. Do I abort because of eye color? Do I abort because of, disease? And where does it become unethical?
Right.
Well, they'll start just building whatever you want. Like, that's how it's going to be soon. I mean, you just won't have to even make that decision.
Instead of just trial and error and aborting what you don't like, you could just build what you like.
I don't know.
So it comes out. But then, am I talking about a society of super children?
You are.
I think I am.
Absolutely.
Linger a tad longer.
I've been asked to donate my genetics.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have been.
What, to a fucking fish hatchery?
Jimmy paused way too long on that one.
Because I had nothing. I had a thought and nowhere to go with it. I'm glad you brought it home.
Fish.
Oh, very funny. Hey, can we squeeze in the Mike Francesa clips before our first break?
Oh, please.
We're guest heavy today. We can certainly go back to the progeria discussion and
indeed, you do,
and the DNA and giant microscopes a little later.
But we love Francesa. I walked into the dentist's office yesterday. I was in the waiting room, and there was Mike right up on the screen. They were watching him in the waiting room. I was very popular. I was kind of chuckling to myself, waiting for something to happen. But I looked, and I saw his Diet Coke there on the console.
It's like, ooh, the famous Diet Coke.
He spills it. It gets knocked over, and then he still has it there, uncapped, right up on the console. He doesn't learn.
Maybe it's a repeat.
No, it was a new one. He was talking about the World Series. Okay.
Cardinals.
Okay. Boston and the Cardinals. Okay.
Well, the Red Sox had a fine game last night.
I guess they romped, huh?
Yeah, he won.
As they said, a one-sided, lopsided
What do the
score.
Sox say?
Win, 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 win.
What do the cards say?
Beer, 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 beer. Green, 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 monster.
Fucking great.
So stupid.
So Mike Francesa, we're breaking him down. All this guy has to do, because it's now really becoming way more of a thing. It's been happening for a while, yes. We got to acknowledge that. But it's really ramping up. All this guy has to do is show a little humility and go, man, you got me. But he's all-knowing. He tries to make it sound like he knew he was being pranked when it's obvious he didn't know.
He didn't know.
Just fucking admit it and go, all right, you got me, cool, whatever.
You got me.
But now people are obsessed with getting him because they know, they know it gets to him.
He's such an arrogant asshole.
Yeah. Oops. I like this, too, because it's old school. Like, it's regular radio. It's a call-in show. People are calling to prank. Like, that's something that was done years ago, and it's still going on Mike's show.
Yes.
Brooke is in her mid-teens.
Is
so
that?
mind-boggling.
Say hi.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the kid that won't grow up.
Yes.
Let's see. So this isn't our Mongo, by the way, is it?
No.
All right. Mongo tells Mike Francesa that he's a bad example because he drinks Diet Coke.
Yeah, Mongo calls Mike all the time and drives him nuts. I've listened to so
Are
many
there different
Mongo
names?
clips. No, it's always Mongo.
Why does he answer?
Why does he take the call?
Because he always starts with, like, serious questions.
Yeah.
And then he goes into something stupid.
Okay.
Jimmy in Queens, what's up, Jimmy?
Hey, Mike, I got 2 bones to pick with you.
Good.
First, the New England Journal of Medicine says that 1 soda a day, you'll guarantee.
Don't worry about my life. Go ahead. Just worry about your own. Give me the next one.
That's all.
What is it? That you called up? It said you had 2. You had 2. What's the second one?
You're showing a bad example.
Oh, okay. So I'm not to drink. So you don't want me to drink? Okay. I'm sorry if you don't want me. I didn't ask anybody else to drink the soda. If I want to drink it, it's my business. Okay. Don in Holtzville, what's up, Don? I don't promote it. I'm not advertising it. I don't tell anybody else to drink it. I'm not telling you to drink. You know what? Call up Coca-Cola and Pepsi and talk to them about it. They're the ones putting out billions of bottles of the stuff a year. Don't worry about me setting a bad example. Okay. Don in Holtzville, what's up, Don?
Okay.
I love that crutch.
Okay.
He's got that fucking crutch.
Now, the obvious thing there, Mongo doesn't give a fuck if Mike Francesa
Drinking a story?
Exactly.
drinks Diet Coke every day.
Not
But he knows
a slight fuck.
he knows this is a little way to get to him a little bit. You don't care, Mike, that you're drinking Diet Coke, and you should know that. And then I like this one a lot. This one came in 2 days ago.
Frank in a story, because you know why? They're just used to winning. That's why. Frank, what's up, Frank? What's up?
I got a question for you. I'm trying to understand it as a layman, just interpreting the rules.
Yeah.
One player can't mount the other one from behind and then
player
push
can't
forward.
push him.
So he's mounting him from behind and then just
He's not mounting him. He's pushing him in the back. Can't push him forward.
So he's mounting him.
Mounting means he's leaving the ground. It has nothing to do with leaving the ground. He's not allowed to push it. I knew that the whole time. Why didn't you give it up the first time? It wasn't funny. It's not
dumped.
Yeah, and go back a little bit.
He dumped something.
That's a dump. That's why there's a jump.
So the guy must have been like, mount him from behind and fucking dick
Kept
him in the
mounting,
ass or
and then
something.
someone told Mike, that's a prank. And this is why I love this call, too. Mike had no idea he was being pranked. Guy tells him he's being pranked, but now he can't accept that he's ever being got.
No, so he's covering his ass by saying he knew the whole time.
Which he didn't, and that's what makes these great.
Right. Why would he keep it going if he knew?
Right.
Yeah.
So go back to the jump.
But I knew that the whole time. Mounting means he's leaving the ground. It has nothing to do with leaving the ground. He's not allowed to push it. I knew that the whole time. Why didn't you give it up the first time? It wasn't funny. It's not clever. It's nothing. Okay? It's not very funny. You know, if you're going to come on with something, please be funny or original. I mean, that's not even funny. 140 is the Mink Man.
A, it was funny.
Hilarious.
B, it was original.
Fucking
C,
hilarious.
you had no fucking idea.
Right.
Mike's being an uptight asshole is the joke every time.
Every time.
The beauty is he doesn't get it.
No.
No, and that's what drives these people. Like, oh, it's so easy to get to them.
Okay. He's like a fucking teenage girl. Okay.
Sounds like Mr. Mackey a little bit.
Okay. I drink my Diet Coke, okay?
I would love to call him as Chips so badly.
Oh.
Should.
Yeah.
Mike.
But this World Series, whatevs, right?
Whatevs. Yeah, whatevs, okay?
Okay, what's your question, okay?
We have Chippa. Where do you live, Chip?
From Konkama.
From the conch.
Yeah. I thought a touche.
The touche.
I gotta say, Lady Di's Twitter is becoming my favorite thing.
It is fantastic.
I got people in my house all in too.
Oh yeah,
they're just reading the Twitter.
It's fantastic.
They're amazed by this.
She will just tweet like your name,
yeah,
or my name, or
yeah.
She was trying to have a conversation with my cat, who apparently has a Twitter account. I don't know,
Yeah,
but. Yeah, she's
we're blowing up her Twitter too.
Oh my God, she's got like
2,200 already.
2,200.
2 days in, that's not bad. Most people would love that.
Oh yeah, and she still doesn't know how it works.
She wants to know if Lou Albano is the actual Lou Albano, who obviously is dead
for a long time.
Yeah,
she doesn't know what fake accounts are.
Yeah, Lou Albano, I know him from Twitter, and yeah, she's asking him if he's
Captain Lou.
He's the actual Captain Lou Albano.
She looks like Captain Lou.
I got a new one. I went with Babe Ruth yesterday.
Babe, the
I went with
Bambino.
Babe Ruth. I know everyone's doing the throw mama from the train and the Goonies thing, but I went Babe Ruth.
And then did she go, oh, I'm not Babe Ruth?
Yes. I went Babe Ruth.
Takes everything seriously.
I have a William Churchill, asshole that I am.
William Churchill.
I had to correct my tweet. How dumb am I?
William Churchill.
I love it.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
You look like Jerry Delano Roosevelt. I'm a goddamn fool. So stupid.
Yeah, we got a break because we got guests coming in now.
Oh, shit.
We got Neil deGrasse Tyson coming in next.
Uh-huh.
And we also have Tammy Pescatelli. Very funny female comic.
Makes the best Tammy Pescatelli. My mother used to make the Pescatelli. Ooh, melt in your mouth.
Huge fan of the show, too. She, I became aware of her because of Last Comic Standing many years ago. I think she was on with Voss, right?
I don't remember.
I think she might have been on with Voss. I got to ask her. It's been so long, I don't remember either now. And then John McEnroe.
Wow.
For the first time in a while.
Yeah. And then there's that whole fucking, there's that problem in Rochester now. There's that fucking thing on the news. It's just, we should cover that.
Oh, what's that?
My show's this weekend.
Yay.
I'm going in tomorrow. I'm not feeling, I feel the cold. You can hear it, right?
Let's get some coldies going.
I took some yesterday, and I'm not getting that swallowy thing today.
It helps.
The gulps?
Yeah. Getting the gulps.
It doesn't,
Oh, and podcast number 24 is out there. I hope everyone's subscribing to our podcast, and I hope you're at least spreading the word to the people that can't listen to us anymore.
Yeah.
Because, man, this service is becoming a bit expensive. I'm hearing from the people,
I hate
Anthony.
that. I know.
I'm hearing from the people.
They chime in. They're like, well, I got to go.
They're
like, come on, hang in.
It's always, I don't want to go, but I got to go.
Right. Too expensive.
Hopefully those people know that we got a podcast at least. It's, it's anywhere from an hour, and every once in a while we go long form. Like this week is long because we're doing the whole Iraq cell phone saga.
You cut one meal from your kids every day, and, you could afford it.
Right.
Exactly.
What's more important, your fun and laughter from this program, or, your kid getting fat?
Your wife needs her bunions fucking fixed.
Exactly. one hair appointment for your dumb fucking wife, or nails.
Your wife's vaginal gout.
Right.
Let it go.
Let it roll. Yes.
Yes. Let's do this.
All right. I'm taking up.
So it's the Opie and Anthony podcast. So go find it. It's on iTunes and elsewhere. But this week is the E-Rock cell phone saga.
Yeah. The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show.
We got Neil deGrasse Tyson coming in to the studio. Promoting Star Talk Live, Monday, November 4th at 8 p.m. Tickets can be purchased online at Ticketmaster.com. And that's here in New York City at Town Hall, right?
Sir.
Right. Very cool. What's up, Neil?
Take a seat.
First time on our show.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, absolutely.
We're on the air, too.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Yeah, we just pop right on. Right on the air.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I got to ask you right off the bat about Gravity, man. You got a lot of headlines.
No,
about...
people got all bent out of shape. I just put out a dozen tweets. I thought, I saw the movie. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
And they got like a lot of stuff right. But I thought it'd just be fun to just point out a couple of things that they didn't get right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it ended up on the Today Show the next morning.
You got a lot of heat.
And on Brian Williams, the evening news. It must have been a slow news day.
That's usually what happens.
Yeah. It even landed on Saturday Night Live Weekend Update.
Right.
So
that's good.
I think it's a good. I mean, it means
you got to be happy about that.
Well, no, I don't care. I don't care. I'm thinking that a few tweets could trigger this much curiosity in the media community about a movie about space.
Right.
I think that the takeaway here is that it's a good sign that people are thinking about science and care enough about it to argue.
Without rehashing it, because we haven't really done it on our show, what were some of the things wrong with Gravity?
So you're going to get me in trouble again. I'm going to list these.
Really?
That's what you're trying to do here.
You don't have to do the whole thing again.
Was it the fact there was a woman in space?
No.
I mean, Sandra Bullock's hair should have been floating in the air, obviously.
No, I think
that's the only one I figured out on my own.
Well, so I think they purposely gave her short hair because it was really long. Then it'd be obvious that it wasn't floating.
Right.
Yeah. That was just to make it a little simpler for them. Plus, she either had too much mousse, or it was a wig or something. But yeah, the hair should have been a little more floaty. Another thing, she's a medical doctor. That's what she is, and they made an important issue of that. But she's fixing the Hubble telescope.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Right.
You know, I like me some medical doctors, but I keep them away from my telescope. That's my telescope. Excuse me.
You have this amazing technology, and you're filming this amazing movie, and then you make those little weird mistakes. Because the one we brought up was how they had that small talk about, so where are you from? It's like they don't know anything about each other.
They would know everything about it.
No camaraderie.
Right. All of a sudden, George Clooney's asking him, so where's your hometown?
I know.
Like,
they would know where everyone's body moles are and secret tattoos. They would know this.
Of course, at that point.
I loved it, but there was that one.
I really liked the movie, by the way. Yeah, I got to say that.
Where they had the thing where he's like, how long did you train for? And she's like, 6 months. So it was like she took a crash course in Hubble fixing.
Yeah.
But the movement was great. Was the movement seem realistic to you, the way they were moving?
Yeah. So the general, I mean, what the movie pioneered, it's 99% zero-G movie.
Yeah.
So I said the movie has the wrong name. It should be called Zero-G. Zero gravity, not
I
gravity.
was going to sell tickets if it was sold that.
And then I got kind of geeky on people, and I said the movie should also be renamed Angular Momentum.
Oh, there we go.
Just to pull a little bit of physics out of
Now
here.
we're talking.
High school.
Yeah,
Can you explain angular? I mean, I understand it, but they don't.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
as long as we don't get a pop quiz at the end of this.
No,
it has a lot to do with Newton's third law.
Yeah, so everything to do with Newton. So if you're in motion, and there's no friction with the ground or air or anything, you'll just keep moving. All right. Now, that's called just regular momentum. We know about that with cars and car accidents and things. But if you're rotating, that's called angular momentum. You can think of it as rotational momentum. Once you're rotating, you will not stop rotating until you put in a force that's the opposite of that rotation.
Yeah.
So that's what happened, which they did brilliantly with the fire extinguisher.
Right.
Yeah. She turns on the fire extinguisher, she starts rotating, as well as getting pushed to the side.
And every action has an equal and opposite reaction.
There you go. And so all you really need is, if you're in space and you have to maneuver, you have to send something away from you. You can toss something away. You could burp or any other kind of flatulence. You will recoil in the opposite direction of those flatulence. And so, but the problem is if you're in a spacesuit, it doesn't count because you're stuck in your spacesuit.
You're not getting that force.
You're not getting the fully expelled gases.
I watched one of the astronauts up in the space station take
I don't mean to get flatulence on you this early in the morning.
No, I'm just thinking how effective I'd be up there.
You'd be spitting your ass off.
One of the astronauts up in the space station took a single hair and was obviously floating in the space station. A single hair between two fingers and pushed against a pipe that was there and was able to push her entire body away from the wall just using a single hair.
That's why when Sandra Bullock is holding on to, I don't know if you saw the movie, holding on to George Clooney, and he's dangling there at the edge. All she'd have to do is give a little tug.
Right.
And then he would drift towards her.
Right.
But no, all right? You'd think it was cliffhanging or something, and then she lets go and then he flies away. No. No.
Now, if he was holding on to something that was spinning at great velocity and let go, then he would fly
If I
off.
remember the scene correctly, the Earth is sort of stationary out there relative to them, so they're not rapidly rotating, but that would be the case.
Right.
If you were rotating, then what you could call the centrifugal force
would
he would
throw you off.
Fly off at a tangent otherwise. And even so, he didn't go off at a tangent. So they're thinking he's dangling off a cliff. So I listed these, and then people said, it's just a movie, or it's fiction, or this. And then I thought about it. I said, no. I said,
I loved it.
I said, wait, excuse me. All right. Costume designers, for example, get awards for being precise in their period.
Yeah.
You don't have a 19th century Jane Austen novel and somebody walks in with tie-dyed shirt and bell bottoms and somehow that's okay.
That'd be great.
I mean, I thought about this. Like my sister is a big fan of these 19th century, like Jane Austen films, right? And her community of fans, if the carriage is not right from that period, or if the servant says the wrong thing to the other person in the mansion, they know. They said, no, they didn't do that yet in 1888. You know? So
Those
thinking
people need to get a life.
I know.
That's a little too picky.
There's 19th century nerds.
I know exactly, right? 19th century geeks. If they're allowed to exert that level of criticism on their film, I don't see anything different about being a scientist and doing the same thing.
I love
just
that
in
you
a
did all
fun
this.
way of
And
messing
it's
it,
fun.
and then all of a sudden you're like criticizing the film.
There's one thing I've been obsessed about as far as the movie goes.
What's that?
Why the frog?
The frog
at the end.
Oh,
why the frog? There's like 4 people in the movie and a frog. What does the frog represent?
Yeah, that was. Plus, if she lands randomly out of orbit, she's not landing in a little pond where she could just swim to shore. She's going to land in the middle of the freaking Pacific Ocean. A shark will eat her, or she's going to be on an ice floe with a polar bear. So
what a stroke of luck.
Most of Earth is not will not accommodate a random drop out of orbit.
But
plus her legs
the
were
frog.
She's a 49-year-old woman, and she had Barbie legs, and I think they retouched her legs
You think?
in post.
I think she supposedly stays in pretty good shape.
No, you can be in good shape, but there wasn't a single blemish. There was a lot of leg shots in this movie. You know that.
Yeah,
you saw it. Butt shots and leg shots. You know.
That's how she looks. I dated her for a while. She does look like that.
Yeah.
I didn't
No, that
expect
was
him to...
Jim J.
Nice.
Can I ask you a question about the God particle? They have found it?
Yeah,
I mean,
the way this works is you have evidence that builds. You have a slight signal in the noise, and then you say that could be it. We need more data, and if you have more data, the signal improves relative to the noise, and say that's the signal I'm looking for. And when I say signal, I mean it could be a pulse, it could be a blip, and the blip gets stronger relative to the noise, and you reach some threshold, and you say, okay, that's what we're pretty sure is the God particle, the Higgs boson. Right.
Now, what exactly does that mean if they find it or if they have it, and what exactly?
Well, it might have been more interesting if we didn't find it. In the frontier of physics, when you're looking for things that you're pretty sure have to be there and they're not, then you go back to the drawing board. You say, "Well, there's some deep stuff we didn't get right coming into this." But my physics brethren found this, and I'm an astrophysicist. I don't look for little things. I look for big things. So they found it, and this is a particle. I don't know if you remember from the news cycle that it's a particle whose field grants mass to other particles. So if you want to be a particle, that's a good one to be. And that's why that's how it got the name the God. No one's calling the electron the God particle, right? So the power it has over nature is extraordinary in this regard.
Is that what they're trying to do? To find like the dark matter and all that stuff, and
we don't know how it all fits together. There's a lot of profound states of ignorance. We know dark matter, dark energy. There's the frontier of particle physics. Maybe at the end of the day, one answers the other, and that's happened in the past in the history of physics. Completely distinct challenges, areas of ignorance that confront us. One gets solved with, hey, that's the answer to these other questions. Wow. And so that's how you know you really understand nature, when you have this cross-pollination of these research frontiers.
Yeah, there's just so much that seems not even that we don't know about, that seems out of reach to even learn about
it. That's a brilliant way to.
Of course it is.
There's the stuff.
That's for hijacking my thought.
No. So here's go. So it's here's something I don't understand, and here's the question I'm going to answer. And so then you set up an experiment to answer that question. But what about the question you have yet to think to ask?
Right. Yeah.
What is the answer to that? So this is
so many of those.
There's right, and in a vast expanding universe. You have to be humble.
We can't even comprehend as humans the expanse of the universe. We can.
No, we do that all the time.
The whole never-ending space thing alone is enough to.
No, the problem there is our brain, our primate brain, is not wired to embrace infinity. I don't know if you remember the first time you ever. I remember when I was a kid.
And you learned that shit. It creeps you out.
No, it creeps you out. I remember what Kennedy. When maybe I'm older than you guys. When Kennedy died, and they set up his John F. Kennedy and had his grave, and they said, "Here's the eternal flame." And it's like, what? What? You mean like Earth will be gone and this will still be burning? No, that was my first encounter with the concept of infinity. And then I said, but look, it's a little vessel, and it takes energy. There's an infinite energy in there. I started getting all existential on it. But that was my first encounter with infinity. In math and in calculus, what you end up doing, I think, is just growing accustomed to it. You learn how to calculate. And once you do that, then it's not as scary. But you still want to just, you want to just chill every now and then.
I've had enough of the speed of light, by the way. I'm tired of light because, like, when they said that, like, even if you're like almost 99.9% of the speed of light, it would still always look like it was like you could never kind of see light traveling at the same speed as you.
And that's
really frustrating.
And that's just relativity, which we discovered. My previous physics brethren, when after relativity we discovered quantum physics, which is the physics of the small, of atoms and molecules and nuclei, and that's creepier, crazier than even what relativity is. You had an accurate description there. You go near the speed of light, turn on your flashlight, it goes away from you at the speed of light. Nothing on Earth has that corresponds to that life experience. So we're discovering the universe is behaving in ways that fall outside of anything your senses ever told you was true. And so therefore you cannot invoke the normal criterion. That doesn't make sense for deciding what is right or wrong in the universe.
Yeah.
Did you get weirded out when you thought that the speed of light, when they did that test and then they opened up the experiment to people because they thought they had that, was it a neutrino that went faster than the speed of light?
Oh, you remember in the big particle accelerator in Europe, a particle accelerator that we might have had here in America until Congress canceled the budget for the superconducting supercollider back in the early 1990s. Getting back to so there was the possibility that there was a particle, a neutrino. It's one of the fundamental, what we think of one of the fundamental particles of nature, that it was measured to have arrived at a destination before it was sent from the particle accelerator, which would mean it would be going backwards through time, moving faster than the speed of light.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, no, sorry, I didn't say that right. It got there faster than a beam of light would have gotten there, and all of our theories tell us that if you manage to go faster than light, then you will be living backwards in time. We had a name for those particles called tachyons. You know the tachometer? It's in your car.
Yeah, RPM.
Yeah, your RPMs. The tachometer measures speed, and tachyon is Greek for fast, speed, and so that's where you get that word. So tachyon would be the hypothetical particle that exists faster than light. So it would have been very interesting if we had faster than light particles, FTLs, if you want to.
Yeah,
you want to get in the club.
Yeah, I talk about FTLs all the time.
When you knock on the speakeasy door, you know what FTL is. You're good.
So do you think, because it seems to me like the speed of light is so amazing and we know all this stuff, but how could, since the Industrial Revolution, and what was it, Einstein that figured it out on a chalkboard, how could he have gotten like that basic thing right? Like how can 1,000 years from now we not find things that just prove that we really have no idea right now?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, are we just idiots today compared to what we'll know tomorrow? Not really, it turns out. And I'll tell you why. In the era of modern science, and modern meaning having an experiment, a hypothesis, you test it, you have a theory. We've been doing that for about 400 years now. When you do that, and you have an idea that's tested and testable and verified, that idea doesn't later turn out to be wrong. Once you verified it by multiple experiments, and we get your bias out of it, because you get your friend to do it, and you get someone in another country who hates you to do it, and if you all get the same answer, you have found a new understanding you've landed on a new understanding of nature. So the way science generally progresses in the era of, since Galileo onwards, 1600, is if you have a better idea or a new idea, it gives you a deeper understanding of nature that encloses what you understood before. And you learn that what you understood before is just a subset of a deeper understanding of reality. And so it's not that you learn that it's wrong, it's that we learn that it's incomplete. That's how science has unfolded since then. That's why it's not that we're all just hanging around one truth. We got to go to another truth now. Now you think that's true because the press hangs out in the coffee lounges of research institutions, and they look at the very latest paper that isn't quite verified yet, and they say, "Oh, now cholesterol's good for you. Oh no, cholesterol's bad for you." And then you think scientists don't know what is going on in the world because they're tracking the bleeding edge where consensus has yet to emerge in the laboratory. And so you think science doesn't know, but if you back up a few steps, we're on it.
They just report on the destination and not the journey between the two theories.
Yeah, we have to understand that on the bleeding frontier, we don't know anything on the bleeding frontier.
Yeah.
But once we know it, it's in the books.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that new telescope? Kaku talked about it.
Michio Kaku, my man, on here.
Yeah.
Good guy. Man, you want some mind blowing stuff? Just spend 10 minutes with him.
We have, and he lives in my building. And every time this is a running joke on the show. We've interviewed him many times, and every time I see him, he just has no memory of me whatsoever. He's so busy
thinking of real things.
Can't fit you into his cosmology.
Not only does he not say hi, he runs away scared.
And you just feel like an idiot when he talks because he puts everything in terms of like, it is like the sun is like a huge gummy bear. Like he puts things. It's like, please, you could tech it up a little for us. You don't have to dumb it down to the point of fucking I think rinse cracker sun. And
I think Neil will say hi to us if he sees us on the street at least.
Right.
That's good.
Well, he's a theoretical physicist.
Yes, he's a theoretical physicist.
Those are probably the weird guys in the scientific community because they just kind of come up with shit that nobody has any idea.
Yeah, even you guys make fun of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like you obviously have a personality. Kaku, not so much. So,
well, he's trying to keep it real.
But what is that? Can you turn off your brain when you're like a Kaku type, or you're constantly thinking just?
No, if you're the greatest of the scientists, we're obsessed with what they're doing. As in any great artist, think about it.
Right.
I mean, if you're in the company of someone who's made some great discovery or some new, they are in the moment, in the groove, and you're kind of irrelevant to them. So you intersect. If I may get relativity on you, you intersect each other's world lines. This is your path through time and space, and then they just keep going on.
Right.
So and the world line is a great concept. So you could be in the same place, but at different times, and you don't meet. You could exist at the same time, but at different places, and you don't meet. Those are your world lines. Only if you're in the same place and the same time do you meet. That's why you don't get smashed by trucks every time you cross the road. You make sure your world line never intersects that of a truck. Okay?
Relative to the truck.
Right, exactly.
It'd be nice if my world line intersected an attractive woman. Kind of a nice collision.
Relativity is such a kind of bizarre concept to people. It's very hard to understand.
Well, like I said, it defies your common sense.
But it's understandable if you put it in terms of like if you're stopped in your car next to a bus and the bus starts moving forward and you're looking at the bus, you'll feel relative to the bus that you're going backwards. You'll jam on the brakes.
Your brain got fooled, and especially if they're large objects,
Because relative to the bus, you are going backwards.
Exactly. Now, we've known pure just movement like that since Galileo.
Right.
The Einsteinian relativity, it includes all the weird stuff when you get near the speed of light.
Yes, relative to now the speed of light. That gets wacky. But basic relativity, you're in the back of a box truck that's doing 50 miles an hour, and you throw a ball.
Uh-oh, he's doing one of those word problems.
Yes.
People getting the shakes now. From New York to Chicago.
The train leaves Chicago going 54 miles an hour.
The ball relative to the truck is doing 50 miles an hour, but in the real world, it's actually doing 100 miles an hour if you throw it at 50 miles an hour in a truck doing 50.
Now, can I tell you something really obscure? I mean, just
sure.
Are you ready for? Okay,
love this shit.
Blow our minds.
If you in a two-car head-on collision, if they're both going like let's say 50 miles an hour, that's a bad collision. People would not normally survive that. And you think that it's an accident that's the same thing as like 100 mile an hour going into a wall.
Right.
You might think
Yeah.
because the wall's not moving, and no, it's not.
Oh,
it's not. It's a 50 mile an hour collision. You know why?
How is that? Why?
Because if you're going 100 miles an hour into a wall, you have 100 miles an hour's worth of kinetic energy. Okay? Whereas if you smash into another car, you only have 50 miles an hour's worth of kinetic energy. The other car has 50 miles an hour's worth of kinetic energy. You both get destroyed. So the energy that would have doubly, quadruply destroyed you going into a brick wall, some of that energy is destroying the other car.
It's distributed in two cars.
You're sharing the destructive energy. That's right.
Because you think like the
So the relative speed is 100 miles an hour, but you only are damaged by the 50 miles an hour of your speed.
It's the old you can't get something for nothing.
Never. There's no free lunches in the universe.
So you're destroying two things with the energy of 100 miles an hour, but it's distributed between two things.
Yeah, that's good brain work this early in the morning.
That's great. I wonder if anybody about to have an accident has ever comforted themselves briefly with that thought.
I've had enough physics. I'm thinking Newton's laws every moment I'm in a car. And the people, I did this once. You see it less today because there's laws requiring you wear seatbelts. But I would, in the summertime, just before it's summer, before you have the air conditioner on, but late enough so that you don't have the heater on, so people have windows open, I go up to a red light, and people not wearing seatbelts, and I say, excuse me, have you ever taken a class in physics before? 9 out of 10 of them say no. Because if you've had physics, Newton's laws of motion, you'd have on your seatbelt because you would fully understand how the laws of physics work.
Even in the back seat? Yeah. I love that one. Nah, you're safe in the back seat.
In a cab, no one puts their seatbelt on when you get in a cab.
But front seat,
and that's when you need it most.
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
Or in a limousine.
Oh, Jimmy.
Hey, Neil, what's
you know where you don't need a seatbelt? If you're driving in like a truck. Because the seatbelt is for when your vehicle stops abruptly because it hits something else that made it stop. If a truck hits a car, the truck keeps going.
The truck, much more mass.
The larger your vehicle, the less you really need a seatbelt. That's why they don't require you wear seatbelts on buses or on ocean liners.
Right, on ocean liners.
Right,
that would be, yeah, because it's going to travel further. It's going to take longer to stop. It's because that mass has to slow down.
He knows his shit.
He knows it. My man is good.
Didn't even graduate high school.
No, my man is good.
He didn't even graduate high school.
I'm self-learned.
Hey, I got to ask you about God and religion, obviously. What's your general take on all that?
a man of science.
No, because we could discuss it for hours. I know.
You got 2 minutes.
You got 2 minutes.
Eternal damnation. What do you got?
What do I got on that? All right.
I'm going to assume you're not a big religious guy.
No. Actually, about a third to 40% of scientists in the United States will pray to a God on the premise that God would intercede in their personal affairs. So being a scientist, even a productive scientist, is not synonymous with being an atheist, for example, as so many people had presumed. My issue is I resonate with what Galileo said back in early 1600s. He looked at the Bible and noticed that his telescope taught him things about the universe that the Bible got wrong. Got wrong. It didn't match up.
Right.
And he came to conclude that, and I quote, "The Bible tells you how to go to heaven, not how the heavens go."
Wow. Ooh, is that a quote from Galileo? Wow.
That is a hip quote from Galileo.
That's pretty hip.
Pretty good.
So when you realize this, the issue in modern times, especially in America, where freedom to express your religion is endowed by constitutional law, that the issue is not that you can or shouldn't express your religious freedoms. It just doesn't belong in the science classroom. And so I take issue when people want to change a science curriculum to match their religious philosophies. We live in an elective democracy. If you wanted to choose to have that happen, just understand the consequences.
Right.
Consequences are the next generation will not understand how science works, and science and innovations in science and technology are the foundations of a 21st century economy.
Or the devil's lie.
If you want a country that can thrive on the economic landscape of the 21st century, just leave science what it's doing. Don't try to come in and say that you need a miracle to make something happen. Then if that's your understanding of how the physical world works, you're not really useful in the laboratory. So
how far are we peering into the universe these days?
These days, yeah. This week,
this week, how far are we?
There's the race for what is the farthest away galaxy that anyone has ever found. And the next generation space telescope, known as the James Webb Space Telescope, to be launched in a couple of years, that will be able to see galaxies. Forget the one, what's the farthest galaxy? That's going to detect galaxies being born.
Wow.
And when you're there, you got it. All right. So basically, we've got pretty much the whole universe mapped out.
Is this? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is this the one Kaku talked about? They're launching that's going to go between the sun and something.
Oh yeah. That's probably the one. Okay. So this one has a special orbit that goes 1 million miles beyond the moon, way in deep space, far away from Earth and the interference of what we have, because it has to. It views the universe in infrared light, which is invisible to our eyes, and infrared is emitted by anything that has a temperature. So they have to deep cool this telescope, otherwise it would be observing
its own heat.
Wow! And you have to so deep cool it that it disappears from its own signal, and then you can see infrared objects in the depths of the universe.
Did they figure that
Isn't that amazing? God damn!
I would launch it and just wreck everything by this big hot blob floating around all day. That would be ruined if I had my way.
Are you scared of death? Knowing what you know, does it help?
That's an interesting question.
You know?
In my memoir I wrote, I ended my memoir with a brief recitation about death. And once you know that you dine upon flora and fauna your whole life, if you're vegetarian, it would just be the flora. You dine upon it, and from that you derive your nourishment. Not only your vitamins and minerals, but also your calories. Your calories keep you alive. Calories are not a bad thing. They're only a bad thing if you're in a wealthy, overfed nation. Right? Most of the world does not get enough calories. A calorie is a unit of energy that you measure, and that's what keeps your body temperature at 98.6 degrees. It's what gives you energy to move. That matters. When I die, I don't want to be cremated, because that takes the energy so hard-earned that assembled into the cells of my body and just radiates it back into the atmosphere and into space. What I want is to be buried so that the flora and fauna of the earth can dine upon my body the way I have dined upon them my whole life. And only then can I justify my existence on this earth, sharing my energy back with the rest of...
want to be eaten by worms.
Yeah. Let the worm enjoy whatever is left of me when I'm buried. And that brings me comfort. Because I don't want to be eaten by work. You're dead. You know, that keeps your energy in the cycle of life on Earth.
Well, even cremation, though, wouldn't that keep the energy? You know, it could go into
your energy still
a storm cloud.
Sorry, thank you. Your energy still exists in the universe. It just doesn't nourish other life. The worm can't work with that. All you did was heat the air molecules, and then it radiates back into space.
Right, right.
And you want to maybe possibly trigger a butterfly effect storm with your heat.
Yes, there you go. I'm gonna.
6 months later, it's his hurricane.
A hurricane, right? Exactly.
No, so once I understood the balance of energy in the universe and energy in my body, I was comfortable with that. But also, the prospect of death compels me to work harder in my life when I'm alive, which is the notion people want to live forever. Then what's your hurry to get anything done if you live forever?
Boy, that is true.
So
right?
I think the fact that we have a limited lifespan, that we can have some understanding of when you get to middle age, you start to see that. I think that compels you to be a little more productive. And think about it. Why don't you give plastic flowers to your loved ones? You don't, because you give live flowers because you know they're going to be dead in a few days, forcing you to embrace all their beauty and all their aromas while they're there.
Wow.
So that's not the reason I would give live, but that's an excellent recipe, much better than the reason I would have.
I like that.
That's where I get the results I want. But you absolutely have a much sweeter reason.
Yes.
Can I ask you about
fascinating?
How far back can they see with the Hubble, and how much farther back will this telescope that you're talking about?
Well, so now we're in like we're getting into the single digits here. So we can see low 90% of the time back to the Big Bang. And so with every next telescope now we're incrementing 93%, 95%, 98%, 99%. There is a wall, however. There's a wall beyond which light does not penetrate. In other words, light can get in there, but there's no information coming back out. It gets all scrambled, and that's the famous cosmic background radiation. That's a wall that was set up in the universe when the universe was about 500,000 years old, about 500,000 years old. The universe has only been transparent to light since that time. If we want to see before then, we can't use light. You have to invent another kind of telescope whose information penetrates that curtain. You can use a neutrino telescope, a gravity wave telescope, or some kind of telescope yet to be imagined or invented.
Wow.
So the closest we'll get is about 500,000 years before the Big Bang.
After the Big Bang.
I'm sorry, after the Big Bang.
You were living back in time there, yeah.
So, do you think there's other life out there?
If you study the problem
relative to what we have,
if you study the problem, you would be inexcusably egocentric to think otherwise. You look at how big the universe is, how many stars there are, how many planets we now know there would be if we look close enough to every single star. You look at what we're made of, the ingredients of life itself. They're not rare. If life on Earth were made of some isotope of bismuth, you could say, hey, we're made of some rare stuff off of that periodic table of elements. No, you get the 4 most common ingredients in the universe. We're made of 3 of them. Okay? And so we're not even made of something unusual. So you put it all together, and the more we study life on Earth, the more diverse are the conditions under which we find life to be thriving. When we grew up in this room, the biology textbook said you need a warm pond. You know, the room temperature. You need room temperature if you like room temperature, but we have microbes that thrive in high heat, freezing temperatures, high radiation, high pressure, low pressure. This is the diversity of life. And these forms of life that like these extreme conditions, we call them extremophiles. The file is, you like it? That's a nice extremophiles. That's going on here on Earth. And given that, it means it widens the net with which we cast into the universe to search for life elsewhere.
Will we ever find it in our lifetime? Next, let's say...
If we're going to find it in our lifetime, it's because, unless it comes here and visits us, if we're going to find it in our lifetime, it's because we've been rummaging around the soils of Mars or in the liquid oceans beneath the frozen surface of Jupiter's moon, Europa. NASA's mantra today is follow the water. because any place on Earth you find liquid water, you find life. Even the Dead Sea. It's called the Dead Sea because the people who named it the Dead Sea didn't own microscopes. It just doesn't have macroscopic fishes, all right? So that's just before you start naming stuff because you think you know what's going on, chill for a moment.
That's hilarious.
Can I say what you're promoting too? Because you're an amazing guy to listen to. Neil is promoting Star Talk Live, and that's Monday, November the 4th at 8 o'clock. Tickets can be purchased, and this will sell out at Ticketmaster, or just call 800-982-2787, or at the Town Hall box office.
It's at Town Hall, New York, Midtown, New York City.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we have a radio show and podcast, Star Talk Radio, where normally if you have a science show, there's like the journalist host, and you bring in the scientist. I thought, well, the people who listen to that already know they like science because you're tuning in for the scientist. So we inverted it, and I am the host, and my guest in most cases is hewn from pop culture.
Oh, wow.
So I have a pop culture guest that Star Talk has the double meaning there. And then I talk to that person about how science has influenced their life and livelihood. I had Jon Stewart as a guest once, and that's when I learned in college he started out majoring in chemistry.
Really?
So then I said, well, why would you ever know that, right? Because he's a guy, a talk show host. I said chemistry, so I asked him the geek question, did you have a favorite element? And that's a nice geek thing you do with it. He said, yes, I did. I said, what? He said, carbon. And I said, that's my top 3 anyway. And I said, but why for you? And he says, oh, because it's the slut of the periodic table. It can combine with all other elements every which way. So in Star Talk Radio, we celebrate science through the lens of pop culture. And in Star Talk Live, every now and then we have a live show, and we just do it on stage. And we have comedians come and help out, and it's great. It's fun.
It's a podcast?
It's a podcast, and it's on broadcast radio as well.
Have these guys try to get you?
I mean, seriously, no, I'm waiting for the call. Excuse me. We have like 1 million downloads a month. And, I mean, we're there.
Wow.
It's feeling good too.
That's pretty good. They should put you on Sirius XM.
Yeah, and then be in the hood.
Fascinating stuff.
That's right. You'd be in the hood. So there's life out there, obviously.
Oh, so my point is, getting back to your question.
But we're not going to find. We're going to find just the
so
crap in the
most
soil
life on Earth is microbial. All right, you realize in 1 linear centimeter of your lower intestine lives and works more microbes than the total number of humans who have ever been born.
Oh, man.
So we think we're in charge? As far as they're concerned, we're just vessels for them to do their thing.
Oh, that's
we're like anaerobic vessels of fecal matter for microbes to do their thing.
You know how many times I've been called that?
So it's so most of Earth is that. So if you use Earth as a template, then most planets that have life, they'll have microbial life. Will they have life that has contemplated itself? That maybe not so much. Maybe that's rarer. And also, if you throw a dart at Earth's timeline, how often will that dart land where you have what we call intelligent life? We've only been on the scene last, couple 100,000 years in our current body form.
Right, yeah.
So most of the times the dart hits the Earth, you would not get anything remotely resembling complex life. So if that's your measure of things, then out there in the universe you stumble on a planet that could be anywhere in its own evolutionary track. We should be happy to find any kind of life at all, much less the kind that you would go and shake hands with or whatever appendage they extended your way.
What did you think of Contact? I thought that was an amazing way to
I thought it's one of the best movies ever, and certainly one of the best movies of the decade in the 1990s. What I liked about it was, first, it didn't show aliens. It admitted that we made contact with intelligent aliens, but didn't imagine that you could even imagine what they would look like.
Right, yeah.
Because if they're aliens and they're intelligent from another planet, they should look more different from us than we look from any other life form on Earth with whom we have DNA in common. But you turn on a Hollywood movie, it's some creature walking towards you with a head, or, they give it antenna, or 3 eyes, or an almond-shaped head, or whatever. These are humanoids, excuse me. We got stuff on Earth that looks less like humans than the aliens do, and they're on Earth. You should worry if who walks out of the craft is like a lobster. Now you're talking, all right? Something, and I can tell you something else because let's just get it off my chest. I tweeted this once. Can I give my Twitter handle here? Yeah, I tweeted.
Neil Tyson on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. No, at Neil Tyson. So I tweeted.
I'm gonna follow you starting right now.
It's just cool. Alien, the flying saucers, you notice they're all handicapped accessible. Have you noticed that? There's always a ramp. You never see aliens stumbling downstairs. So they were handicapped accessible before we had figured that one out.
Which means that there are lawyers who have sued in other universes for lack of accessibility. It's depressing almost.
I got a question we throw around here on the show. You got humans on Earth, and there's nothing that comes close to us in intelligence and building stuff. Why is that?
Ooh.
That creeps me out.
Okay,
because the rest of the animals on Earth, they sort of are in the same development stage, more or less, and then all of a sudden you get this huge jump and you get humans.
Okay, are you prepared to receive what I'm about to tell you?
Oh, man. Fucking blow my mind.
Are you ready?
Yes.
First, that's a great thought to have, because you see the distance we are intellectually from all other life forms on Earth.
Our joke,
let's get the closest life form, the chimpanzee, right?
But our joke is like, why isn't there like a squirrel at the bus stop with you in the morning?
I got you.
Okay,
I got you. I got this.
You're on.
Are you ready?
Good. Yes.
Are you seated?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Man. All right. So keep in mind here, who does the defining of what intelligence is?
Fair enough.
We define it.
I get it.
And we say, look how distant we are in intelligence from other creatures. Let's get the closest one to us intellectually. That would be perhaps the chimp, likely the chimp. And the chimp, what it can do, it can stack boxes and reach for the banana. It could do that. All right. And I think some research has shown they can even put up an umbrella. They can do some rudimentary sign language. They got some of that.
They're adorable when you dress them in little engineer outfits.
With
amazing.
Oh, the hat. And recognition of themselves, right? Isn't that considered a thing?
Yeah, in a mirror. Yeah, you can get some of that. And that's the closest to us. So we share 99% identical DNA with a chimpanzee. But look what we do. We have philosophy, we have poetry, we have music, we have the Hubble telescope.
Right.
And the chimp ain't got jack. All right? So here's my question back to you.
Shit. This was going to happen.
That's a quiz. Fuck.
Maybe the difference in our intelligence with the chimp is as small as that difference in DNA. Imagine, because the smartest chimps that we bring forward, the primatologists bring forward, do what our toddlers can do. Our toddlers do what the smartest chimp does. Maybe that difference in intelligence is small. And how would you imagine this? Think of another life form we might stumble upon. That's that 0.5% difference in DNA beyond us. That same 0.5% difference that we are beyond the chimp. What thoughts would they have? They would roll Stephen Hawking forward and say, their humanologists would say, here's one that's slightly smarter than the rest because he can do astrophysics calculations in his head, like my little Timmy over here just came back from middle school or from preschool. If our toddlers do what chimps do, their toddlers will do what ours do. Right. And if you are that smart, the ability to build a Hubble telescope or put a stick in a termite mound to extract termites would look the same to someone who's that much smarter than we are. When you look at fish, are you contemplating how much smarter a catfish is than a minnow? You're not having those thoughts. For all we know, the catfish is brainy fish compared with in the fish world, but you don't care because you're so far beyond all of them. So my big worry is that aliens observing the universe will see us down here on Earth and conclude there is no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
We're all just lumped into the same dummies that run around like the dung beetle.
And exactly. So look at the cute thing. They have these little things called cars and planes and other spaceship. That's no different from the chimp, given what they're accomplishing. You don't walk down the street and contemplate what a worm is thinking.
Right. But why aren't they building shit like us?
Maybe they have and concluded we're not interesting, or possibly we are their zoo.
Oh, yeah.
What do? You get penguins, you put them in, you throw some ice in the water, and you paint a glacier in the backdrop, drop the temperature, and how do we know that's not what we are to them?
Good Twilight Zone, that one was.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He knows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Still, I think my favorite show of all time, Twilight Zone.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. So I lay awake at night, not only contemplating that, but wondering whether we are actually smart enough to figure out how the universe works. Why would we be the measure of anything that is smart? You know why? Because we defined what smart is. And here's the hubris of that. Here's an example I often give. You have a book called Optical Illusions. Who doesn't love a good optical illusion, right?
I care for them a lot.
Which way is that facing? Whoa, now it's going the other way.
Exactly.
The staircase one?
Oh, my God.
So here's...
Is it a vase or two people looking at each other?
Right. So here's what those books should be called. They should be called Brain Failures. Because that's what it is.
That's what our show should be called.
Brain... Is it in the diagram? Is it longer or shorter? Oh, my gosh, I can't figure it out. But our hubris prevents us from confessing our own states of ignorance to ourselves.
But we are do we have the ability to improve our own intelligence, right, through computers and all that stuff? And what they're talking about is like what Ray Kurzweil talked about, a Google that you just all of a sudden...
Yeah, I'm not fully convinced. He wants to say a year will come, the day will come where computers, the storage capacity, the computing power will be enough to rival and exceed, perhaps, the human mind's ability to do this. So you just upload your brain, and then you become the computer, and then your body doesn't matter anymore. And everything we know will be different after that day. And I'm just not... I gotta one day have a conversation. I might get him on Star Talk, just to have a conversation with him to find out why he thinks this. Because we've been bested many times by things we've invented before. When the machine came, I'm plowing the back 40, with sweat equity, and someone says, here's a tractor. I'm using a tractor, and I'm staying at home drinking a beer. I don't have a problem that the tractor can do it better than I can. And we got computers that now beat us at chess, that beat the best chess player. We got Watson, who beat the best ever Jeopardy contestant.
But the computer that beat the chess player or Jeopardy can't plow the field.
Well, but they're our creations. That's
can't
fine.
Beat you at if you could lump all that into one thing. And then make it adaptable and able to grow.
Let that do the work, and I'll be in the Bahamas. Call me when you're done. I'm just saying. And to upload your mind, fine. But the idea that would still be you, I'm not convinced of that, because the things in my mind that are not you, we have different life experience. One of many things that distinguishes one person from another. I upload my mind, and then, like I said, I go to the Bahamas, I meet people, I have a nice dinner. Is the computer doing that? No.
Yeah.
It's not. So I continue to grow my life experience and my relationships, and what is it's stuck in the moment of when I uploaded what I gave it.
Right.
How could it continue to be more creative than I can be creative based on new information I've yet to learn that happens through my world line?
Isn't that in a way, though?
The moment the computer is separated from you, it has a different world line.
Yes.
Isn't that looking at it like almost like there's an intangible thing? Like when you're saying that, like, isn't that almost giving credence to the fact, like, well, there's an intangible, a soul, or something that can't be quite accounted for?
So it would be if the way the science fiction vernacular takes it is, has the computer achieved consciousness, self-awareness, so that it makes decisions on its own without you even having programmed it in that way. Right now, computers do exactly what we tell it.
Right.
They do not what we want it to do, what we tell it to do, which are two different things here. So they do exactly what we tell it to do because we programmed them. So that was the interesting thing. I don't know if you saw Watson in action. So one of the other contestants gives an answer, and it turns out to be the wrong answer. Watson is still calculating what the answer is, and he says, okay, Watson, and Watson gives the same answer as the other person. Watson hadn't figured out that if someone already gives an anscer and it's wrong, you don't give that answer.
Any dummy would know that standing next to him. Right. But it kind of opens up the thing. Is there a limit to the human mind? When you said, can we reach a point where we can't comprehend?
Since I can imagine a life form that has that same DNA difference advanced beyond us that we are from chimps, I am humbled by the brilliance that such a life form could bring to bear on solving problems, on I mean, just look at how we like to say we're smart, but look at the dumb stuff we do as a species all around the world. Hey, you're living on oil that I want. I'm going to kill you. Right? Meanwhile, the whole universe is overflowing with energy. Well, I'd be embarrassed if aliens came here to visit and they say, hey, how you guys doing with your energy? Well, we're still pulling fossil fuels out of the ground. I want stuff to be more proud of before I start showing off our civilization to intelligent aliens that happen to visit.
Yeah, don't be so eager to have them land here right now.
It's ridiculous. We continue to destroy each other and
and
everything on Earth. When you start really looking at how tiny Earth is compared to the rest of the universe,
and let's make everything warmer while we're at it.
Right.
And flood the coastlines. Yeah.
Speaking of Earth, how do you feel about the people that think it's only 6,000 years old?
If they think that because that is mandated by their religious philosophy.
Exactly.
Okay. Just keep it out of the science classroom. That's all. I don't try to confuse that with doing science. Science, we have learned. Science has completely transformed our culture. It's doubled our life expectancy. It has brought comfort and health and well-being. And not only science, but the fruits of science, the technological fruits of science. And, of course, you need to be good shepherds of this power because in the wrong hands, it could be used for evil. All right? This is the great sort of dichotomy of of unlocking the secrets of nature. So I'm not going to fight them to tell them the universe is not
just stay out of your way.
No, not my, just the science classroom.
Right.
No, and if you want to put it in the science classroom, understand the ramifications.
Right.
Your country will go bankrupt because you will no longer be in a position to forge the economies of tomorrow that will require science and technological innovation.
And it leads to the next question, because a few people on the lines are asking, do you believe in God?
I'm not convinced. Here's the thing. If every time I talk about God with someone who's a believer, God is all powerful and all knowing and all good, right? The good is a big part of this. And then I look at all the ways Earth wants to kill us. A tsunami takes out 250,000 people, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, floods, and I add all of that up. Either the God is not all powerful or is not all good. But it can't really be both, given all the ways the universe wants to kill us. And if Earth is not finished killing you, there's the asteroid that could come in.
Right.
An asteroid rendered 70% of all life forms extinct. Back in the famous one in 65 million years ago that took out the dinosaurs. So there's so many ways to die, not at the hands of someone else who has free will. That I don't know what is the nature of the God that you're talking about.
I gotta try to use your logic back at you. But don't we define what is good and what is bad? So we see a tsunami wipe out a whole bunch of people, and we're as human beings going, wow, that's bad, because we define what bad is. Maybe in God's brain, eyes, whatever the hell, that's not bad.
Well, but except you defined what God is.
Oh boy!
Wow!
Now you did it.
That's
so. Why do you have the power to define who and what God is,
right,
but not have the power to define what good is?
Yeah, my point is we just don't know it all. Not even close.
Oh, sure. So therefore, if you're going to say God actually is good, and 250,000 people dying from an earthquake and a tsunami and other natural disasters, and God presumably has control over that, and God is good, then we have to then say God works in mysterious ways, right? But people only say that when their understanding of God fails them.
When
right?
it's something bad.
No, when they can't understand it, they say, oh, God works in mysterious ways. But somehow, in these other ways, you did understand him.
Right.
How are you saying, well, this is the handiwork of God. You're doing God's work. God wants you to do this. Somehow you know God's motives every other way. But when 250,000 people get wiped out, God works in mysterious ways. Why do you even claim to have access to God's mind in some contexts and not others?
Exactly.
Just admit you have no clue and get on with life. That's how I look at it.
We just don't have a clue when it comes down to it.
Well, I'd like to think that preserving health and longevity that is a nice operational definition of something that's good.
Right.
How can you argue? Why? How can you debate something that keeps you alive and healthy? That's got to be something that's good. I can't. I refuse to allow someone to say, "I'm going to give you cancer, birth defects, and shorten your life," and somehow call that good. I'm not going there.
I hear you.
I'm not going there.
What do you think happens when you die?
Didn't we have that part of the conversation earlier in the show? Were you not paying attention?
No, but
I said I go into Earth, and my
that's
body,
it, right?
my body's energy is handed over to.
Yeah, I heard you loud and clear.
No, we can measure that. If you want to say something more than that happens, you have to step out of objective realities and then believe what happens on faith. And people have faith in a lot of things. I don't have an issue with that. But I know I can measure that I have energy content, and a worm is going to capture that energy, and a plant is going to capture the decomposed carbon dioxide that comes out of my body. That's going to happen.
And that's not going to satisfy any of us as far as our lives go.
No, but it means your energy lives on in other life forms on Earth.
I know.
I personally find that quite sasatisfying. And has the benefit of being objectively verifiable.
Nice.
I have a question about asteroids or comets, because since Shoemaker-Levy hit Jupiter,
you guys are up on all Shoemaker.
Man.
He just this is can I inform your audience? Shoemaker-Levy, that's a comet discovering team.
I thought it was a law firm.
I think we were sued by them once.
What happened?
There's David Levy and Eugene and Carolyn Shoemaker are comet hunters, and in fact they discovered an asteroid, a comet and asteroid hunters. They discovered an asteroid that I was so honored that they named in my honor. They proposed it. It was accepted. There's asteroid 13123 Tyson that team discovered, and I'm quite honored by it. I had to double check it's not headed towards Earth.
Yeah, right. That would
okay, now I happily accept the honor.
That would be a good one.
So they discovered a comet that had broken apart and was on a collision course with Jupiter, and in fact, it slammed into Jupiter back in the 1990s.
And it was amazing.
And we observed it from Earth.
Amazing footage. There's this big black spot where it hit, and they said it would have ruined it. It was the size of the Earth, the little spot that it...
Yeah, the entire scar on Jupiter was bigger than the planet Earth.
Holy
right.
shit. Why is that?
And so whatever's true, there's no dinosaurs left on Jupiter.
Yeah. I'm fascinated with that and the fact there's that red storm on Jupiter. How come, if that red storm is just a weather system, we still see it? Why isn't it? And why is that spot still as it was 25 years ago?
No, the spot's long gone.
Oh, is it? I thought it was still there.
No.
Okay.
The spot's long gone. Now, what's cool about the spot, this is an impact scar left in the atmosphere of Jupiter, because there's the energy of the collision completely wreaks havoc in the local area of the atmosphere. But here's what's cool. There were 24 or so chunks of this comet that had broken apart on a previous bypass to Jupiter. Jupiter's gravity disrupted the physical body of the comet, and it created this long train of 24 pieces. Here's what's cool. When the first piece hit, the next piece does not hit in the same spot because Jupiter rotates. So you got to see every successive scar as they hit Jupiter's surface. As Jupiter rotates twice as fast as Earth does, by the way. And so you got to see the simple fact that Jupiter rotates as these pieces, all otherwise hitting the same spot in space.
Right,
but a different
on
location
the surface.
on Jupiter's surface. So those have gone away. Jupiter's red spot, we've been seeing that for the last 300 or 400 years. It's a sustained weather system that still is a bit of a mystery.
And has it not? Maybe I just.
By the way, we don't know. We don't have a full. We have some provisional answers for how you can sustain a weather system that long, but the universe continues to brim with mysteries.
And why should it be, relative to our life?
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right.
It's
think about it. We have hurricanes that last weeks, for sure. All right, and that's on Earth, which is tiny, and we don't rotate as fast. So now we have Jupiter, which is, Jupiter is 10 times wider than we are as a planet, rotates twice as fast, is mostly gas. All right, so Jupiter, give it some space here to do whatever it wants to with its weather.
I mean, to a mayfly, the hurricanes here last a lifetime. You know,
he's getting philosophical. He's getting deep here.
Now, we sent the probe to Jupiter, and I guess it fell down and then got crushed.
No, it didn't fall. Yes, you could say literally, yes, it did fall, but that was on purpose. We didn't. Yeah. It didn't accidentally. Oops.
Well, parachuted in, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're done with your spacecraft, why don't you leave one last experiment to find out what happens as it plunges into through the surface? That's right.
How far
It'll
down?
ultimately get crushed by the pressure.
How far down would you make it before you got
a human being?
Yeah.
You would suffocate in the vacuum of space before you got to that point. But ignoring that complication.
Yeah, on a ship or something.
Okay. You go in. Well, it depends on how structurally stable your ship is or your skull is. But I mean, it's not. You don't have to think about Jupiter to answer this. You just say what kind of pressure. You can think about it in the ocean. What kind of pressure would totally crush your body? You can't go too far down with it, like the Titanic. Miles down below the surface. The weight of the water above you would just crush you like a pancake. Like a crepe.
Yeah, the weight of all that
pancake's too thick. You need something thinner.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Right, because we have atmospheric pressure here on Earth's surface. It's 15 pounds per square inch. Here's something you might not have known. If you press a suction cup and you try to lift it up, you can't because it has suction. Well, there's no such thing as suction. What's happening is you took away the air beneath it that was balancing the pressure all around it. Now you're lifting the entire column of atmospheric weight that's sitting on top of your suction cup.
Yeah.
And if your suction cup is 4 square inches, it's 4 times 15 pounds per square inch. You have to lift 60 pounds of force upwards to pop it off the table.
Before it comes off.
And you say, look, it's sucking itself down. No, the atmosphere is pressing down on you. So now you go underwater. You have not only the weight of the air on top of the water, you have the weight of the water on top of you.
Yeah,
and water is heavier than air, denser than air.
A lot of people get that backwards all the time, that it's suction, but it's actually pressure. And
yeah, and they say, nature abhors a vacuum. No, most of the universe is a vacuum.
It's a vacuum.
Nature just loves vacuums. It's your limited worldview that tells you that nature somehow hates the absence of air.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated too with the Voyager, which is I remember my science teacher in high school, Stanley Buttcavage, told us that.
What a name
that
for a
was
teacher!
Name.
Wow, the abuse.
But he made such a big deal of the fact when Voyager 1 left, I want to say our solar system, which I guess was when I was a freshman in high school, which I guess is 82. And now whereabout is it? Didn't it just reach another milestone?
Well, it depends on how you define the solar system. Generally, when you learn the solar system in elementary school, it's the enumeration of the planets. Back in our day, Pluto would have been in that list. No longer. So you could say when Voyager passes the orbit of Neptune, the last of the 8 planets, it has left the solar system. But wait a minute, there's a new swath of real estate discovered beyond Neptune, which is what got Pluto into trouble. It's a swath of icy bodies with the same composition and orbits as Pluto.
Right.
And so that's called the Kuiper Belt of comets. Maybe you have to wait till it gets past that. Well, Voyager, got past that. All right. And so it's kept going. And since then, it has passed the sun's the influence of the sun's magnetic field on all the particles that float around in space. And it has crossed into the magnetic field of the galaxy. And that's what made headlines just recently, which would have been much later than when you were in high school, of course. That they were probably finding some other boundary of the solar system to reference.
Yeah, maybe it was when it passed Pluto or something. I don't remember.
It's the launch.
No, I think when did it go up, in like 77 or something?
Oh, when it was launched, 1977. That's correct. Voyager 1 and 2, yeah.
And they said it's being powered by something that's like a little light bulb, like worth of power.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Was it 10 watts or something? Very, very low wattage. Yeah, dimmer, lower energy consumption than your refrigerator light.
That's amazing.
So yeah, that's what's powering the whole thing, and it has 70K of memory.
Nice.
Ooh, that was you were talking back. That was back in the 70s. You got a date if you had 70K of memory.
Yikes.
And what?
No, we all know a Klingon took target practice on it, though. Right? Do that? Star Trek? No? Anyone?
A V'ger?
Star Trek? Or V'ger, yeah. V'ger.
Yeah, there's V'ger in Star Trek, in the original Star Trek. What gets me about V'ger? I assume people have seen the movie. V'ger, it was Voyager that apparently the OYA was rusted over in the Voyager, and V'ger had acquired all knowledge of the universe, achieved consciousness, and then came back to look for its creator.
Right.
And that freaked out the crew because it was messing with Earth. And I'm just thinking, if it acquired all the knowledge of the universe, why didn't it know its name was Voyager? You'd think it would have figured that out. Okay. And also, just to be fair, that was Voyager 6, not either the Voyager 1 or 2.
What age did you realize that you comprehended this stuff? Because math for me is never. It's why I'll never be a great chess player. I'll always be average. Because math for me is very difficult. But there's a way to comprehend it where you just it resonates with you, and I've never been able to.
No, it's people think you're just born and wake up and then you comprehend it. No, you work at it. I mean, go to any Olympic gold medalist. They work at it. They didn't just wake up that morning and get a gold medal. So, yeah, the universe is complex. It's large. It's awesome. It's terrifying in its infinitude. And what matters is that you are drawn to it. You are seduced by it. It is the seduction of the unknown that gets me out of the bed each morning to ask, how do I now learn how that works? Either learn how it works in ways that other people have already discovered. All right, that's what you do while you're in school. But then you get to the PhD, and then you've learned what everyone else knows. You have one foot in what is known, and one foot in what is unknown. You're at the perimeter of ignorance. And as we say, as the perimeter, as the area of your knowledge grows, so too does your perimeter of ignorance. So knowing doesn't always mean there's less to learn. Sometimes it means there's more to discover.
I think that's a side of the brain, though. That, you're not born with necessarily the knowledge, but I think the gift or the ability, because
you're not born with any knowledge other than the instinct to suck.
Which I've made a career out of.
I was being literal, not figurative. Okay. Yeah, we have a couple of instincts that are in us, and to the woman, the sucking baby is pleasurable. So if it hurt, we would go extinct really quickly early on in the species. Yeah. So there are factors in play that make making more babies pleasurable, and other than that, we learn what's going on in our environment.
But when you're a kid and you're knowing this stuff, is that like...
I was 11 when I figured out this is really cool. I want to learn more of it.
And there's an interest, too. Like, if you're interested in it and want to know more, it's like if you're interested in playing a guitar, you're going to pick it up and screw with it every day of your life.
Same thing. And then you learn how other people play, and then one day you're really good at it, and then you invent a new genre,
way of
way of doing it. And my first exposure to the universe was at age 9, a first visit to the Hayden Planetarium.
But I got to ask this question. So when you're really young, 9 years old, can you either choose the guitar or learning about the universe?
Did you see?
Or are you more prone to
Depends
go?
on how much you want to get laid.
or is your brain wired enough to where you're going to be prone more to go for the guitar?
Well, first, I think the geek is the new football quarterback. Okay, look at how many people go to Comic-Con. Just you look at the rise of what is the #1 sitcom on television? It is The Big Bang Theory. So I think there's a changing in the. I think you know why? It's because you need your geeks to fix your computer at the end of the day, or to invent the computer that you want for tomorrow. And in principle, a football quarterback could do that, but generally, the history of them is that they're not that person. But my point was when I was going to make a really 11, deep point.
When you're 11,
about the guitar and the universe.
Do you remember? There's a Gary Larson comic. It showed Jimi Hendrix as a young boy.
Okay,
and he's walking up to the music store, and the accordion shop is closed, but the guitar shop is still open. And then it's a disaster averted.
That's funny.
Wait a minute, that was a Ziggy.
That's funny.
So you think that it's something that you learn? I still think it's a side of it. There's something.
I think there's something in your brain.
Because I can never look at math. Like, I mean, maybe I didn't work hard enough at it, but I cannot.
I think you're born with some kind of ability, but and hopefully you find that. There's probably people out there that would have been great math minds, but for whatever reason didn't find that spark.
Yeah, they took a wrong turn. The world line missed an opportunity. Here's what I'll tell you. when you realize that if you go to China and you want to speak to the Chinese, you got to learn Chinese. And any language expert will tell you it takes several years to get really fluent. And ideally, you should move there and immerse yourself. And if you don't move there, it might take you 5 years. Move there 2 or 3 years. In either case, it takes years to even just get comfortable with it. When I look at the universe and you realize that the language of the universe is mathematics, and I want to have a conversation with the universe, I'm learning the math. And look at the symbols of math. I don't think it's that different from learning a completely different alphabet and having to communicate in Cyrillic or Thai or Chinese characters. Think about it. They're expressing ideas in a complete other iconography. And so, not iconography, what do you call a character set. And so that's what math is. It is expressing yourself in a completely different character set. And there are rules. We have rules in English. The verb goes here, the noun goes there, you conjugate it this way. Math has rules.
Yeah, but there's not a third of a verb. If you had to have a fraction of a verb, I'm finished.
No, but you do have fractions of words. Yes. Okay?
Fractions, yeah.
Okay, there are words that are compound words, and one of the things you learn in elementary school is that some words are composed of others.
I think people think of the difference between like writing and math as it's more abstract if you look at writing and English and language, but if you break it down into the actual letters and the rules of a language, it isn't as abstract. The tools.
Yeah, I think a linguist would probably argue with you, but I'd have to agree that the rules of math are unassailable, basically.
Yeah, they're more definite.
Yes.
But the rules of writing, there are certain rules you have to adhere to that isn't that creative kind of abstract part of writing.
And that part of writing, I'm claiming, has a similar kind of, I don't want to say rigidity, but a formality as what you find in mathematics.
But with those tools, you could make very creative and very abstract ideas.
Well,
but
no, you can do it with math too. So here's the thing. So math is a language, all right? Math is not the destination, it's a path. So when I have an idea about the universe, and I represent it mathematically, if my idea is accurate, I can manipulate the math and make a discovery that the math enabled because it is a logical representation of the idea. What humans are not good at is thinking logically, using words. Whereas if you represent the words and your ideas with math, then you manipulate the math. That's a way to manipulate the idea with the perfect logic that mathematics endows you, the power that mathematics endows you with. And upon doing so, you use the math to come up with whole new ideas about the universe. And so that's how a great writer would use the language to come up with a whole new way of telling a story or a whole new way to develop a character. And take, for example, the movie Inception. That was a completely different new way to talk about a plot line and folding time and the pace of time. Is that the right movie, Inception? No.
Isn't it Inception where they're going back off the van? Yeah, you don't know if it's real or if it's not real.
Or whether it's a thought or not. Yeah. That's a whole, it takes a creative person to take the leap from a boy meets girl and they fall in love and end of story.
Even with the rigid rules of mathematics, you could use that to tell an abstract story about the universe.
Well, so in a rarer case, you advance mathematics this way.
Right.
But more typically, you're using quote ordinary math to advance physics, to advance our understanding of nature. And occasionally you do invent a new math. Isaac Newton said, someone asked him, hey, Ike, why do planets orbit in these ellipses, these flattened circles, rather than perfect circles? Because he had a theory that showed ellipses. But someone asked him why, and he couldn't answer it. He said, I'll get back to you. So he goes home, comes back a few months later, here's why. Because there are conic sections, you cut a cone and you get an ellipse, a circle, a parabola, hyperbola. And they said, well, how did you come up with this? He said, well, I had to invent integral and differential calculus, and that then enabled me to solve this. So he invented a branch of mathematics to solve a problem in physics. So occasionally you get 2 for 1. You get a new physics problem solved, and it required new math if you're smart enough.
Sounds like he was wagging the dog on that one.
And more shit we have to learn in high school.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, Isaac. Thanks a lot.
You prick.
Really? How about I don't know every once in a while? Neil, this was great.
Yeah, I got to run.
Yeah, this was great.
I just want to take a drive with you and pester you with questions. Like, I just want to keep
That's just
poking
what I want to do, too. Drive with you. That's my idea about an ideal day, right?
And all day you're just going, wow.
I think you think about physics a lot when you're driving in the winter on icy roads. I'm constantly thinking of, friction.
We don't think about friction as an active.
Centrifugal force, all this shit when you're driving on the ice is like, okay, here comes a curve, and you can almost picture what the mass of your vehicle will do in a certain situation.
Yeah, and the reason why you slide off the curve at a certain speed on a slippery road is because the curve is not banked high enough to keep you
right. Now
there.
The friction between
like in NASCAR,
wheels.
For example, have you been on a NASCAR track?
It's ridiculous.
The camera doesn't capture.
Right. No, TV doesn't do it justice.
TV does not really capture the actual slope of that.
It's unbelievable.
So you can do the physics of this, and you can say at what speed is the ideal. What is the ideal speed for the car to have for this bank of a turn? And you find out what that speed is. And it depends on the track and the track conditions and the size of the track. But you can bank a curve so that at 200 miles an hour, it is completely stable going around the curve. Now, here's the thing. People say, NASCAR people only know how to turn left. Well, it's not really true. If the bank has the perfect angle for your speed, it is the bank that turns your car and not you.
Right. You can keep pretty much straight.
Not pretty much. You can just never turn the wheel, and you can go in perfect circles for having done so. If the bank is at the right angle for the speed that you're driving. So that allows the driver to only have to steer to maneuver among other cars rather than to steer to stay on the track.
I mean, obviously, if you think about a car going fast enough to stay on a 90-degree bank, let's say.
Oh, that's the speed of light.
That's the speed of light.
Yes.
On a 90-degree
There is
bank.
we got that one. That's the speed of light. All right, you with me on that? All right, so
without any degradation of
no, it would fall.
It would fall, right? Right.
Yeah, you need the speed of light
at some point.
On that one.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Oh, Neil, that's too fast for me to be driving. But listen,
we got to get Neil out of here.
Just talk about this all day. God damn it!
It's deGrasse or
no, it's silent E. That's not deGrasse High. Right? Yeah. No, deGrasse Tyson. But you just call me Neil. That's fine. Thank you.
Just get rid of that E. We don't need that. All right, Neil deGrasse Tyson, an amazing guest.
I wanted a numeral in my name because there's a silent 3. Something just to mess with people.
Like Deadmau5, but it's a 5 at the end.
Yeah.
Neil Tyson on Twitter, and again, November 4th, Monday night at 8 o'clock, Star Talk Live. So I guess you're doing your live podcast. Just a fascinating
every
guy.
now and then we do a live version of it, right at Town Hall.
That's with Eugene Merman?
Eugene Merman does. Yeah, that will be with Eugene Merman. Yeah, okay. Really funny guy.
Yeah, he's a buddy of mine. He's very, very funny. And you get that at Ticketmaster, and you're a fascinating man. To go see you at Town Hall, I think would be great.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
all right, guys.
Coming in, love it.
Thank you. You hadn't ever called before. Now
This is stupid.
You never called. You never wrote.
What are we thinking?
Well, now we are. What happened?
World lines have intersected.
Oh, damn!
And they will intersect again.
All right,
Thanks,
all right, guys.
Man.
Thanks, Neil.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
Welcome back to the Craig Triple program.
No, it's not.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Eric Nagel says, "Get the fuck back to work."
Yeah,
what's this about,
Eric?
Eric?
Likes to rush everybody around. We just want to
character.
take it easy and relax.
I will not. I
just
will not
did
interact with this character.
We just did an hour and a half with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and then E-Rock decides after 4 minutes we got to get back on the air.
Is that a single?
The hell?
Get
You did
back
3
to
reads,
work.
a double plus 2 minutes of filler.
Oh, shit.
Fuck.
I am me, dummy. I say deGrasse. I just didn't know.
Well, it looks like deGrasse.
I know, but I should have known that.
I was.
What are you gonna do?
I was telling Anthony
It's
during
John Lithgow, by the way.
Yeah, fuck him. It's Lithgow. We all know that. Stop already. When the whole country calls you Lithgow, why don't you
That's
just
what it
accept
is.
it?
Rose by any other name.
That's true.
What?
Yeah.
You just... Because the whole country mispronounces his name, he has to change his name?
That's the rule. If everyone starts calling you one thing, then
So
that's
shouldn't we officially be calling this the Opie and Anthony show?
All right, now you're being a wise ass.
It's true.
What about that fucking the football guy?
Which guy?
I forgot his fucking name. The
LT?
one. Oh, Terrell.
Oh,
Terrell.
You mean Terrell?
Terrell, shut up.
Whatever it was,
Terrell.
but the whole country said it one way, so it's a tough shit for you.
Damn
Don't
it.
correct us. We don't know you personally. We just hear everyone else say your name like
Exactly.
Just start calling him Ocho Cinco.
that. I was telling
Right.
I was telling Ant during the break why I love doing radio. We just had our mind blown by Neil deGrasse Tyson. And in a few minutes, the contrast will happen. We're going to have Tammy Pescatelli in here with a horrendous accent telling guinea jokes. And I say that with love. I love
course.
Tammy. But there's a bit of a contrast right now.
That's that timeline.
Yeah, Tammy, don't take this wrong, but we couldn't have a bigger idiot coming in
After Neil.
after that genius.
Exactly.
I don't mean it like she
Holy
knows I don't
shit.
mean it that way. It's just so weird what happens.
Yeah, it's quite the dynamic we have on this program.
Certainly
isn't it?
is.
I went to the dentist yesterday. By the way,
I know it's getting close.
I posted a pic.
How many days are
It
we
is
away from the
getting
big
close.
fake teeth?
It's not big fake teeth. I'm getting like laminates, veneers, whatever they're called.
They're not making it any bigger.
On the front. No,
Okay.
they will look exactly like it, but they will be whiter,
man, that looks like it
cleaner,
hurts.
clearer. Yeah, I posted a photo of me getting the Novocaine needle, which I don't like that part, but it doesn't bug me as much as it used to because I'm kind of getting used to it. I've made a lot of. I pretty much. So far, not even done yet, but so far have a pretty nice car, the cost of a car put in my mouth right now. Yesterday's visit was alone was $6,500.
And we don't have insurance for this shit.
No, there's no dental
Totally
insurance for this
cosmetic.
shit.
No, but dental in general we don't have.
Well, dental,
even when I
I
get cavities filled, I have to pay out of pocket.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
really? I have dental.
I don't have fucking dental because we have to get our own insurance.
Dental's very basic if they cover it.
What do they
Dental
do with the
insurance.
7 teeth you got pulled? Did
I
they
did not
fill those
have
in
7
yet?
teeth pulled. Yesterday,
According to the internet, you did.
no,
And they
that's
get
a
everything
lie.
right.
Yesterday was she's replacing a bridge that I have between a couple of teeth. So she took the old bridge out, which was there from 1992. And
did you smell it?
No, I didn't. I did smell it burning, though, in my mouth. She had to cut it out with the drill. She was going with this. It felt like a Sawzall was in my mouth.
God.
She had to cut through the metal cup that's inside the 2 crowns that that border the fake tooth that's in between the bridge. And it's fastened to 2 other teeth by the way of a cap, like a fucking crown. And that's metal. And it's glued in there, and it's been there since 1992. So she's got to drill through the fake tooth, the metal, and then cut it out like that. It was literally going, like vibrating, going, and it was so loud in my head. Oh. But it didn't hurt. I mean, she said, if you feel any discomfort, let me know. And then I was like, no, it's good. And then it was like, ow, that hurts a little bit. And she Novocained me up a little more. And
When are you going to be done? Been at this a while.
Well, now next, in 2 weeks, when they make up the new bridge, they pop that in. And that's in 2 weeks. And then I make an appointment to start on the fronts, the laminates.
I like the fact that you decided you were going to do this and you're just fucking plowing ahead and doing it.
Plowing right ahead. It was because a wisdom tooth cracked on me, and I went to get that fixed. And I said, you know what? I'm here. Let's run the gamut.
Tammy,
there she is.
We got to get Tammy in here.
Run the gamut.
We also have John McEnroe on his way. So the progress is progress important. You're getting there.
So it'll be because I've never been happy with the discoloration that I have going on in my maw. So that's going to be all taken care of. There she is. Hey, Paisan.
What's up, Tammy?
Good morning,
What's
everybody.
up?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Good morning.
How you doing?
How is this? Is my like the cleansing of the palate after Neil?
Apparently.
Like, oh my God.
Oh, you heard that?
Oh my God. Of course I heard it. I never felt so stupid. Well, it was wonderful.
You're in a bad spot following him.
Yeah. What a chasm.
Right.
Well, I'm not in a bad spot to be funny. funny. Holy God.
I just found myself nodding a lot, hoping he thinks that means I know something.
Yes,
if you just nod a lot, you're like, yeah,
the nerd is the new quarterback. I'm sure Tom Brady thinks that every single time he's banging Giselle in the morning.
Indubitably. I felt like saying that a few times.
You know, it's just so. I'm glad that there are people like that. I'm just glad that I'm not one of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, he's so great. He seems so nice. He had a great sense of humor with you guys that he tried, but
you
know, like,
you try to impress him and get his approval to show how smart you are.
You know what it is? They're just they like themselves too much. As a comic, like, you know, I'm a self-loathing narcissist. I can't.
Right. Well, that's the comic.
We just don't like ourselves as much to think that we could do that kind of stuff.
Right.
Why do I want to go to Earth to find or off Earth to find more people to hate me? There's like enough over here.
You know? What have you been up to, Tammy?
Apparently vigilantism on the train this morning. Oh my God.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, like this crazy guy. I'm always nervous, to be honest with you. I'm never nervous to do much because I've been on the road for a long time by myself, and you know. But the train always scares me in New York because I'm just not.
Why?
I'm just not.
I love it.
Man, no.
And by that, you mean the subway.
Yeah, the subway. Yeah,
we
the
call
subway.
it the subway.
A lot of people know around the country, they're like the train, you know, they think Amtrak.
Yeah. No, the subway. The subway.
The sleazy, urine-smelling subway.
I love going on the subway and watching people.
Well, that's what
you gotta
you're
know where to
supposed to
go,
do.
and you got to also know, like, maybe some of the spots aren't for
And you're a dude.
a white person.
You're a dude, right? You know, that's the other difference. Like, this guy gets on the train and he starts picking this little Asian lady, and I don't even like Asian people. And he was picking on this poor little Asian lady, saying how ugly she was, and he was glad he didn't wake up with her.
Can you tell me his background and makeup?
I don't know what he was. He was one of those just generic brown.
He was brown.
Yeah, he wasn't black. He wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, he was
Hispanic.
No, he was probably white and homeless for too long.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, you know that.
Like that
it's a little
brown.
grimy.
It's like dirt.
That,
it's like brake shoe ash.
Yeah, just burnt.
That's all over him.
Burnt pancake, kind of like, you know, like a wheat Eggo. And he was just gross. And he was picking on her. And, you know, I'm just looking, you know, because I'm still novice enough to, like, take a look at it. And, and he goes, "What are you looking at?" And then finally I just go,
See, I'm still trying to figure that out.
No, because I don't want to fight because it's not, you know, he's obviously ballsy enough to do stuff to people, but not to a man. You know what I mean? Like, it's still not like, you're not talking to any of the dudes. You picked on this little old Asian lady.
Old Asian lady,
and
the most harmless thing to fuck with.
Yeah, what is she going to do to you? Nothing.
Yeah, she ain't even going to pull out
I
no
could just
Jackie
pee on
Chan
a
moves
stick
on
and
you.
stab you with it.
Yeah.
There's nothing she
How
can
did you
do.
respond when he asked you that?
Well, I go, dude, not today.
Wow.
Not today.
Maybe tomorrow.
And then he goes, "What do you mean not today?" I said, "Not today." And
that could mean, don't fuck with me today. Like, hey, dude,
because I'm
not
busy
today.
I got to get to O&A.
Not today.
If I miss this, I'll never get back on again. They'll just think I blew him. But
that means she scraps. Tammy scraps.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've had, but that's a thing that you
You're a
had
scrapper
to.
every once in a while, right?
I would. Oh yeah. When I was a kid, I used to really be really bad.
Yeah.
But I grew up with boys. But also, this is not a career that if I was afraid, I could do it. I'm, you know.
But what does the not today turn into? Did he go away?
Then he just looked at me and I go, "God bless you, dude." Just like, you know, he was just, he goes, "Who are you to bless me?" And it was so funny. I took my hand and kind of moved it off
An
to
asshole.
like this. Right? And he shut up. And I was shocked that he shut up because I thought, oh man, I should have just kept my mouth shut, not done anything. I was really petrified, but he just shut up. And then he got off the next stop. And these people, these jaded people, like, I have it on video, but you can't hear it. They go, this lady leans over to me and she goes, "Are you a witch?"
Wow.
No, I'm just a bitch, really, is all it is. I just don't have time to deal with him today. Maybe on the way home.
Jedi mind trick that motherfucker.
No, I just think no one stood up to him. You know what I
Isn't
mean?
it amazing that on a train with all those people, and I always remember the public, I'm guilty of this too, if everyone had worked as one unit and just said, "Shut the fuck up or we're going to squash you."
Everyone's afraid they're going to be the one he goes after.
And people, it's that, but it's also nobody has faith that anybody else will help.
It's gonna
That's the truth. And I got to tell you, I was scared shitless, really. In real, but you can't. You can't do that.
The biggest problem with subway is you're facing people.
Yeah.
And
If
I
we all
did
faced the
nothing to this
same
dude.
direction, there would be half
the
the
seats
problems.
in the middle.
Because you're facing people, and they're all there's some weird thing always happening that you want to
Eyeballing
stare
someone.
at, and then as soon as you get caught staring, that's where the problem.
I also think there's just a level of
Begin.
apathy that is just, we're even apathetic to our own lives. I'm like, dude, I'm on the subway. I'm trying to figure this out.
stop.
I got my own shit to worry
can't
about.
even deal with
Your
you.
level of crazy is cool. Apparently, you got nothing to do. You can engage in fighting with strangers.
All day
I
long.
got people that I live with I have to fight with on a regular basis.
Did he have a bag with him, like a backpack?
Of course, one of those stupid. And meanwhile, I was just laughing at people on the street. Like there was one of those, like 55-year-old guys with the Mets jacket. I love that old people support their teams. Although you don't see any Giants jackets running around, but it's the same in Cleveland. So trust me, I grew up with all that. But like with their scooters, I'm so sick of old dudes on their scooters.
Ew.
Jim, you look so good. I didn't realize look how svelte you look with the
not
cheekbones.
Today. Not today.
Yeah, not today.
Not
right?
today,
What are you,
yeah.
a witch?
Watch it. I'm going to use that. Not today.
For the first time, I went to a Pearl Jam show, so I had a long subway ride to Brooklyn, and I never saw this before in my life. A black guy sitting across from us, everybody on the train, I should say, and he had a tattooed hairline.
Man, so you know.
And he thought he looked good. He kept looking in the mirror and like fixing the rest of his hair.
Jesus.
But for the first time,
Is he like combing his hair with a Sharpie?
and everyone was looking, and he was giving that look like, not today, is basically what he was telling everyone with his eyes. But we were all amazed because I've never seen that before. I've seen the tattooed eyebrows that the women are doing, mostly the Hispanics, I think. But this black dude had a tattooed hairline. And it was about that thick. I'm showing these guys
And it's natural.
about an inch, a huge inch stripe across his head.
Damn.
No, it didn't look natural.
I know, of course, I know it did.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I was like, what the fuck are you
bangs,
doing? But as he was looking at himself in this mirror, he thought he looked good, and he was ready for whatever the fuck he was about to do.
There's a certain level, like I've always admired that level of crazy. I've always been jealous of the guy who can take a nap on the sidewalk at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh man!
I have a sleep number bed, and I have to have a wave machine and everything.
Yeah.
Like that's life to me. Like you have no worries. You can just drop wherever you are and sleep.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but he's also dozing off with shit in his pants. It all comes out. There's a balance. The yin and the yang is. That guy gets a good night of sleep, but he's got shit in his pants and fleas.
So do we sometimes. So let's be honest. We've all had those moments.
It's in the front.
Let me explain shit in the pants to Tammy Pescatelli. We used to have this guy, Tippy Tom. He was a regular on our show, a homeless guy. One day we decided we needed to cut his underwear off to see what the hell's going on in his underwear. Okay, he had shit that was in his underwear that. How many years, Jimmy? It had to be in there for
testing on it.
It had to be in there for years. Know why? We had to cut it out, and it was petrified. There's a video of it online somewhere, and we tapped it on a table. It was a rock. You could actually put it in your hand and not feel like you're touching duty anymore.
Wow.
And it was as hard as a rock. It would fossilize, whatever the fuck.
There was an impression of an old fern in it.
We should ask Dr. Steve how the fuck that happens.
Yeah, you should have.
And how do you walk around for that many years to allow that to happen?
that guy.
I mean, I get a little swamp ass, and I need to find a shower. This guy is walking around with fucking shit in his underpants to the point it turns into a rock.
Yeah, but I think you get to a point that you just don't care anymore. There's that night when you drank too much, and like you puked, and you have like a little bit of puke on the side.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care anymore. Just give me another beer.
Right.
Like it's just done.
I like the way you think.
It's been a hard life. Yeah, now I'm a mom. So
you're married now, right?
Yeah.
And then how old is you have a son or daughter?
He's 5.
Oh,
my
wow.
son.
You have a 5-year-old?
I have a 5.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I know who's smarter than me already, and
we like it.
I do. I like him. I don't know the process was something I was looking for. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it's a good thing.
No,
I think it's
being a mom.
I just think that the whole concept, like I heard you yesterday talking about like watching the Chipmunks thing with your kid, and it's hard to back up.
I got trapped.
Man, well, here's the hard part of all those things is you see.
But he's cool now. I can leave him alone with his shit. But that one was too scary for him. So he's like, all right.
It's not even that. It's like, how many levels do we fuck them up? Like, there's so many things on a daily basis. Every crazy person was screwed up by their parents. Every killer, it's the mother that touched them or the uncle that did something. You know what I mean? Like, every drama. So you worry, like, what did I do wrong? Then you can't watch those kid shows. I was watching the show the other day with my son. And, Joey Diaz?
Sure.
Joey Coco Diaz, right?
Sure.
The best comic, the nicest guy, one of my good, but like filthy. He's on like this Disney show, just
Oh,
like,
funny, that's funny.
I have seen him with his face in a Mexican stripper's crotch. Like, I can't see you on the Disney Channel. This doesn't even make sense.
It's like Pryor when he hosted Sesame Street. It's like they have no idea this guy's got fucking blow in his pocket right now.
Right now, right?
He's trying to touch the puppet.
So you don't like the whole process of having to watch those dumb videos and
just
being a mom?
Of it, I think it. Well, I love being my son's mom. You know what I mean? Because I don't like the other mothers. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that.
You're not like a hang with the moms kind of a gal.
I didn't grow up that way. Think about it. I was with guys like you. I was with Jimmy. You know what I mean? So when they're like, well, what are you gonna be for Halloween? Gone. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be gone. I'm gonna let someone else take him around.
Do you do play dates and then realize,
no, you want to?
I gotta hang out with these?
That's exactly what happened.
It's the worst.
That's not okay.
I push my kid toward like kids that I know I'll get along with the fathers.
Their parents, right?
And then he picks the one. I'm like, no.
Yeah, play dates.
No.
Our kids.
I don't want to hang out.
You
with
have
those.
to hang out with the parents. They come over. They want to see your house. They want to ask you questions, and the kids don't even like each other.
That's terrible.
We don't do a lot to dates. Can't deal with it.
Jimmy, I looked for you. I was in Montreal at the St. Pierre fight.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
You don't leave the country for him anymore.
Not for that. I've never traveled for. I've watched them here and I watched them in Vegas, but I wouldn't go to Montreal only for the festival. But I'm glad you like UFC. I love it.
I always do. And you guys introduced me. Do you remember the very first time?
Card?
I did watch it. That was crazy.
It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. The card last week for UFC. Fucking Velasquez, Dos Santos.
But you know what's it's amazing too is that
Jenny Hutt.
Oh, that is Jenny. I couldn't tell
needy.
with her.
Oh,
She's waving.
Look is that what you've become in your life now? A pretty girl
needy.
goes by and waves at you, and you're just like, yeah.
She's not pretty. Trust me.
Oh man,
she's all right.
They gussy her up great on CNN. She looks good in that little cube they put her up on the corner.
Yeah, she's
with
trying to hold
Dr.
everything
Drew.
together. It's ready to fall apart.
Oh wow. Really?
Can't we just let her have it?
Yeah, just
Can't we just
open the door? We'll let her have it.
Thank God. Yeah, I feel good.
I did that for you, Tammy. Actually,
I appreciate
we
it.
like her. She's all right.
Oh, they're talking
Whatever.
about the new.
She was kind of stupid on Dr. Drew's show.
Oh, really? Isn't that a redundant statement?
Yeah. Dr. Drew loves her.
Right. Dr. Drew. Who? You know, it's funny. They just cast that new guy on 50 Shades of Grey. I never even read that. I think that's.
Who they? George Wendt, which is a really weird choice for the lead in that.
They got both of them. They got Norm and Cliff.
Who's playing the lead?
They just said Jamie Doran or somebody. They got rid of the guy from Sons of Anarchy. I never read the books. I think it's just such a crock. Like, it's reading.
Stop.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not porn.
Yeah.
I had a porn addiction before people were allowed to tell people they had a porn addiction. You know what I mean? Like, when you were embarrassed, now these girls go do it.
What was your poison with porn?
Well, first of all, it was videotape, so that's how old it was. So you know what I mean?
No online stuff.
No, this was
No,
I've been on the road for a long time.
Online, yes.
Where you'd leave it in the VCR, and if someone came to your house, like I'd let comics come stay in Cleveland when they were driving through, and you'd be embarrassed because it would be stopped right at the point that you stopped.
Right.
And they would know that was your end. This was the finish. This
Just
is what
rewind it
got
15 seconds.
it.
That was it? Really?
They know
Black guys in a van.
Everyone knows
Midgets
what turns
and
you
fire
on.
hoses.
Yeah.
No, what was your porn of choice though? Because everyone falls into a different weird genre subcategory that they kind of get addicted to.
Well, I was pretty. I was pretty mainstream compared to now. I didn't know all those categories until online. Now they have every kind of weird thing.
Yeah.
But it was more like high school kind of thing, like cheerleader, schoolgirl kind of.
No gangbang stuff. A lot of women like gangbang stuff, which is not my thing. But for them, it's such a departure from the way they really live that they watch it.
I think I feel like I have to entertain everybody. That's too much. That's too much. I don't. What are you doing over in the corner? You know, I don't want to have to deal with that.
It's like being on stage. You concentrate on the one person not having a good time.
Right. Like, hey, are you all right? I'll be right with you in a moment. You know, like I couldn't. That's too much work. I don't think I could do that.
Do you still watch it?
Not really anymore.
Yeah, it's hard, I guess, with a 5-year-old, right?
Well, and I think I'm done.
Okay.
I'm pretty much
done.
I see where it gets you. You know what I mean? Like if once you have a kid, it doesn't. You're like, that's what this is for? This is not as fun as I thought. Like, if a yo-yo gave you responsibility and shit,
you wouldn't want a yo-yo
right,
anymore.
You don't want to do all that.
Did you want to be a mom? I know you're into it now.
Of course I am now. No, it was never my plan. I got pregnant by accident, 37.
It never happens.
Can you imagine?
So
I was like...
You were going through life like, I'm good with not being a mom.
Yeah, well,
and then it happened.
I was in charge of my brothers when I was a kid, like a lot, all the time. From probably like, they were 6 and 7 years younger than me, and I was in charge at age 10. So I think I had enough, you know? It just never... Plus, I really don't want to fuck anybody up. That was my big thing.
37, you got pregnant?
By accident. My friends are shooting up like heroin addicts.
Oh, my God.
Trying to get pregnant. And I'm like, I'm the only one who like gets pregnant and starts crying.
You're lucky.
I'm like,
well, were you not on the pillow? Were you practicing rhythm, or like how did that happen?
I was on the pillow.
Oh, you were? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think it just stops sometimes. I think that's a big
man,
trick.
that's fucking scary.
It's a big trick.
You're
but
lucky. You're lucky the kid didn't need the hockey helmet without the stick.
Right.
You know?
Well, and that's the other thing. They're like, "Do you want another one?" No, because I dodged the bullet this time. Are you insane?
Those eggs aren't as pliable at that age.
I am even thinking that I've
just fucking.
So
talking about it like she's fucking 60 having a kid.
That's true.
Were you tempted to not go through with it, or the minute you found out, you're like, I have to?
Jimmy, the truth is, yeah. But I couldn't. I'm not that person. And I was with the guy, you know, my husband, but he's my boyfriend at the time. And he was pretty amazing and really cool about it. And he wanted that. I think if he had went the other way, then I would have had to really seriously think about it. You know,
we'll get one of those abortions. My brother got one for his girl. All right.
But you know what was the hardest part is I had to hide it because no one. When I said I was pregnant, I joke about it in my act, but it really comes from a true statement. Most female comedians, their wives have their babies for them. So, like, I had I had nobody to look at to go, you can possibly do that at my level. You know what I mean? There were some older comics that in bigger venues, but I'm a club, you know, banging it out 3 days on the weekend comic. I didn't know anybody like that who did that.
So, how long could you stay on the road for when you were pregnant?
Listen, I almost gave birth at Governor's. I did the late show Saturday and had him on Sunday. I didn't know.
That's true?
I swear to God, that's true. I didn't know. I thought I had 3 weeks, but here I was having back pains and I was actually in labor. I know. I would have had a better career if I'd have just shot him out right on stage. And then they'd have docked my pay.
They'd charged them the 2 drinks minimum.
You missed it.
As a comic, you try to get the bonus for the extra person you brought.
Doesn't that count?
Yeah, that puts me in fucking in bonus territory.
We're never booking her again. The last time she was here, she had a baby at the end.
That's quite the finish, though, for the...
right to the end. My God.
And how long were you off for after that?
3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
then I
it?
had a corporate. And then I just won corporate, and then I went back.
Wow.
And I had a month.
You clean in corporates?
I can be. I'm smart enough to know how to, you know what I mean?
Well, you got to do an hour, 45 minutes?
About an hour and 15.
Why don't the corporate gigs want the dirt?
I know, it's so stupid.
Well, you know, they don't because they're just
stupid.
afraid. They have too many HR people. And meanwhaile,
someone's there that's offended.
So, but most of the people in the audience would appreciate the dirt.
Probably, but then there's always that one.
They always cater to the minority again.
But even the cool people would be nervous to laugh in front of other people.
Right.
A lot of them, when you're talking about whether it was race or some type of thing, even if they're pretty open, they'd be scared to laugh in front of their boss or their coworker.
That's the truth.
Too much nonsense.
And they'll just show up afterwards, like, and they'll go, you know, I thought it was really funny. These guys, like, they all think that they're better than the rest of the people they work with.
That'd
These
be
guys.
Right, you do a corporate gig for like some black-owned small business corporation, and you just tell the most horrendous racist jokes.
Right.
Oh, would that be great? They're just looking at you like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Did you think this is racist? My father, we just had a huge
You're
argument.
Italian, yes.
Well, it's so funny. He goes, he believes that Wendy Williams is Tyler Perry, and he will not, no matter what I tell him. He goes, that's it, Tyler Perry. I know it is. Look it, that's Tyler Perry. He totally believes.
That's a good theory.
That's a great theory.
Who's your father, Frank Vincent in Jungle Fever?
You know how I know that it's not, though?
Man. What a good dad he was.
You know how I know that it is not? I go, Dad, you know how I know? Because it doesn't say Tyler Perry's presents Wendy Williams. It's like everything they do. Of course, I never get cast in anything, so I can say all this stuff.
You're not a good
Jimmy,
actress?
I'm down to the wire actress. I think they get a hotter, younger, more experienced actress at the end. I get down to the wire. It's always me and the chick that got the part.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like I was, did you see Orange is the New Black?
Yes. Yeah.
I was
I
down
know
to
that.
the wire for that part, the cafeteria manager, whatever her name was.
Oh, yeah, that bitch.
I try to throw it away. But, like, dude,
Well, she's pretty fucking
she's great.
brutal.
But she's really good.
Yeah,
I could never have done that
She's
like
good,
that.
but she's a little gruesome. You know, you don't come
You're not
across
gruesome.
as
I
gruesome.
just want to do one little get out. And then it takes you out of it, too. Yeah, I told you, like with Joey or even the boys, with Lavelle and Bill, how happy I was for them on Breaking Bad, but I hated to see them.
Yeah, it kind of took you out of it.
Right?
It's like, that's Bill.
Good for the... Oh, shit, I want to watch this.
Hey, we're still looking for the guy. Yeah. You're like, hey, it's Billy. What the fuck is he looking? Who's he looking for?
Yeah, exactly. Selling meth to DeRosa. I don't like watching my friend. I don't watch my friends on TV because A, like you said, it takes
You don't
out
have
of it.
any?
And B, I don't have any. It's an excellent point that I hadn't considered. I was going in a different direction. But if
That
I want to
works
get
out
down
for
to
me, then.
Yeah, get out of brass tacks.
You
I'm
should
alone.
watch my career, Jimmy, and then you'll feel better.
No, but you don't want to see guys succeeding in a way that you're not succeeding, and it's not out of dislike for them. It just makes you feel like shittier yourself.
Wow.
Like, I don't want to see it.
I read your book in the green room at the Dallas Improv and took it back to the condo and had to call Voss to cheer me up. That's how depressed I
Wow,
was.
that is depressed.
That's a level of depression, right?
Yeah.
I tried to call Bonnie. She wasn't available, so I took Rich in his place, and I said,
man.
I should just choke myself to death right now.
Yeah.
This is
This
the
is the
level.
business I've
I'm
chosen.
reading Jimmy's, feeling bad about Mike. I'm reading Jimmy's book, talking to Voss, and feeling bad about how shitty my career is.
Wow.
You didn't realize one man could get so many prostitutes.
I was actually feeling bad about like the level of success. Like I know what you're saying. Like I was happy for you, but every time then I did the Tonight Show, then I did this, then I did you. How do you even get on the Tonight Show as much as you do, and knowing who you are? Does Jay even know who you are?
It's really weird.
I mean, he knows you.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, does he know anything about your act?
Yeah, I think so. They let you do a lot more on that show than they do on the other late night. It's amazing some of the dirtier stuff. I've done
because he's a
bestiality
comic,
jokes
I bet, yeah.
he's a fucking working stand-up.
He's so nice. He really is the nicest guy. He's given
I've done him,
comics
Leno,
chance
before.
forever.
Jesus.
Right.
It's fucking
done this.
You
Relax.
sound like a piece of shit.
No, I didn't.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck? We're not
Yeah,
chopped
you're
liver
right.
over here.
I never thought anybody of your caliber could actually perform at a venue that would take the likes of Jimmy and I. I mean, who are you to deign talk to us as if you could compete with our brilliance? So stupid.
I love you. We love you.
Yeah, they let you get away with a lot of a lot of dirtier stuff or innuendo. It's really quite sexual or harsh. They're pretty cool with that.
Yeah. That's great.
But I can't do most of my stuff there. I mean,
No, you got to be a little clean.
I would love to see the old people that see you on the Tonight Show and then come to see you
Oh, yeah,
on the
he's
Friday
so funny.
and
Let me go
see how
the,
that works out.
Nice boy from the Leno
That's
show.
what happened to Bob Saget. Everyone thought he was, a clean comic. They didn't realize he's actually a really dirty comic.
Well, he was on a wholesome show, too.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
one
sure,
confused
with
one
They
for
thought
wholesome.
he was that guy always, when the fact is he changed everything to be the wholesome guy, and he was
Right,
always a
it's
dirty
acting.
guy.
right.
No, I know, but they didn't get it. And then when he went back to stand-up, I went to one of his shows down at Westbury, and the people were walking out. They're like, what the fuck? What is he doing? This is not the guy we know.
Right. Well,
And he was hilarious, obviously, but it wasn't their cup of tea.
everybody thinks they can judge comedy, too. I think that's the whole level of chaos, you know? I had that lady throw that glass at me.
Why?
Yeah, what
Jacksonville.
happened there?
Oh,
And when?
man. Well, it was about a year ago in Jacksonville, and she threw like a full glass, and it shattered behind my head and all. But you know what? It was just one of those.
Do you remember the joke that got to her?
No, it wasn't even that. She just wasn't paying attention the whole show. She was one of those women.
So you called her out?
So I said to her, I said, "Man, what are you doing?" I go, "What are you reading a book on your Nook?" And she's like,
Shit.
And she's like, "I'm watching porn." And I go, "Honey, I wasn't trying to fight with you." I said, "You're blonde," and I said, "You were reading a book." I was obviously trying to be your friend.
Oh, man, that's
Right?
pretty good right there.
But she just was, you know what it was? It's that when I see Monique, God bless her, she's a nice lady. I don't really know her that well. I met her a couple times. She's a funny comic, but she has an Academy Award, and she's working the Late Show Friday at a club. I would impale myself with the Academy Award in front of everybody. I can't deal with these people on the Late Show Friday anymore. Like,
Wait, hold on. So you called her out. Was she with a guy?
she was a convicted prostitute. Jimmy, you probably know her.
Oh yeah, I love her.
She just was tired.
Wait, what do you mean? Why would Jimmy know her? Oh, okay.
No, because
literal open.
You got me with literal, something literal, but I'm thinking...
That's a real Opie
I'm
moment.
embarrassed.
That's a Mayberry moment.
But I was thinking, because you guys have done all the same clubs,
No,
you probably
just-
run into the same ass, whatever.
Well,
now I'm
the
trying to
truth
defend
is,
myself. I'm an idiot.
I think
Go ahead,
really, she just didn't want to hear a woman. Like, she was one of those women that need the constant attention.
Right,
You know, she was getting up to go to the bathroom every 36 seconds to show off her outfit. And she just was tired
So
of
you
me.
called her out, and then what did she do after you made your blonde joke? She just threw the glass at you?
Then she said, then she said to me,
Not today.
No, yeah, she said, not today, motherfucker, and she punched me in the throat. No, then she said, you make fun of your husband and your jeans are cheap. And I was like, and I love him. Wait till you see what I do with you. And then I turned, and then she threw the glass right at me. Jesus. And that was it. Yeah.
Because they threw her out, of course.
No, they didn't. She just sat there. Like, the sense of entitlement of a white woman is beyond me. Like,
Wait,
she
they
sat
didn't
there.
throw her out after breaking a glass?
Oh, no. What had to happen at that point, I had done all these USO tours, and one of the groups from Iraq, you've done, those guys are loyal beyond when they see you over there. These boys were there. They jumped up to get her. The group of black women that I'd been hanging out with, I felt like, on stage, came up to get her. I stopped them, and then finally they came to get her. And then the cops arrested her, put her in the back of the car, and then the sergeant came and said, because it was Florida, and he said, we didn't see it happen, and you deserve it. No, he didn't say you deserve it. He said, aren't you, doesn't this happen to you all the time at your job? I'm like, no.
That's like saying somebody threw a fucking punch at a cop. Hey, isn't that just part of being a
Doesn't
cop?
that
Let him
happen
go.
all the time?
So she didn't get arrested?
Lazy cops.
She didn't get arrested, and then it got picked up. The story, it was crazy. I wrote this long blog. It's just a long, stupid story, and the New York Times talked about it, and The View, and finally they called and said they were going to arrest her, but the district attorney said to me, he goes, that you should just be used. Were you drinking? And I said, does it matter if I was drinking?
Yes,
like,
it
what
does. Look out.
I'm going to go on stage tonight with a bag of Skittles and a short skirt. Maybe I'll get raped and shot. Maybe, would that be okay?
How close did she get with the glass?
It bounced off the brick and smashed me right in the head.
Oh, it did hit you.
And that's an absolute assault. And those lazy fucking cops in Jacksonville didn't want to arrest. That's all it is. Just laziness.
Yeah, well, I think she was an informant, so the real cops wanted to, and then the sergeant came, and let her let her off. That was the craziness.
Yeah, we got her some Italian girl from the north.
Yeah, they didn't think anything of it, and it just I didn't even want anything crazy. They kept going, "Well, sue her. What am I going to get? Her dye job money? I mean, what am I going to get? I don't want that. Just make it so she can never come back. And
If she's
give
an
her,
informant, she'll probably end up with a fucking garrote around her neck.
Yeah, she's dying of AIDS and chlamydia right now anyways.
Why wouldn't a club throw her out?
Because why would they, Jimmy? Why would they throw her
God,
out?
I fucking hate
She's
comedy
a paid patron.
Yeah.
And they probably gave her free passes to come back the next time. Sorry that you had a rough time.
The shit you guys got to deal with, it's got to be just insane after a while.
Actually, that club did. That guy who owned it, once the owner came, the owner was there the next day. He was all on it. But I think the manager was a woman, and you can't ask a woman to do stuff like that.
Ron Howard's coming in.
I'll get out of here.
No, move over.
Okay.
Move over one. It's like the couch.
You don't have to move.
It's like the couch. Come on, take a seat.
Hey, Ron.
How you doing, Ron?
Surprise.
It is a surprise.
How are you, buddy?
Very pleasant surprise. How are you?
Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you.
That's Tammy
Absolutely.
Pescatelli, a funny comic.
How are you? Nice to see you.
I'm Jim, really good actor.
He's a closer for sure.
He constantly tries to sell himself
And why
to
not? And why not?
directors that come in here.
You look thinner. You look good.
I'm, you know what? I'm doing a movie called Heart of the Sea, which is a survival story, a true story, and all the actors are on a reduced diet. Now, I don't have to do this thing.
Oh man!
But somehow it gets a pretty good influence. It's with Chris Hemsworth. Everybody's
Sure.
very.
What's the gist of this?
It's actually based on the events that actually inspired Herman Melville to write Moby Dick.
Oh wow!
Which is a whale ship was sunk in 1820, and the survival story is the one that was a big story, of course, in its era, but nobody knows much about now, and it's a pretty remarkable adventure story.
So what exactly is the diet? What are you eating?
Well, I'm just being a little healthier. I'm just being a little healthier. That's really just a little less of everything and a little more exercise.
It gets addicting though when people start to notice it. It feels kind of good to hear like a nice compliment, and then you're like, yeah, I kind of want to keep going.
Are you fishing for one, Jim?
No, no, but I mean, obviously.
Next step, anorexia in reverse.
Body dysmorphia, hating yourself in the mirror. It's a nice rug, right?
We didn't know we were getting Ron Howard today.
No.
You were in the building, I guess.
I'm here today.
Is that you filming outside? No, not at all.
No.
Oh yeah, there are people out
all the
filming
actors
outside.
probably sit up straighter when they see him walk by.
Tonight there's a screening, Project Imagination, 10 short films, and I've been sort of a part of this. This is the second season of this project. Canon sponsors it, and it's been it's been really a blast. And last year my daughter Bryce made a movie, and it was a situation where the concept was people send in photographs for various dramatic categories, a setting, character, and so forth, and then those would get winnowed down by the public, and then finally I would select one photo for each category, and then in this case last year Bryce had to go take her inspiration from that, make a movie. And she wound up, it's sort of an academic experiment or a cool creative experiment. She wound up making a very personal, very interesting movie. She even got on the short list for the Oscars last year. They decided to do it this year, and this year they got 5 celebrity filmmakers, but people who are not known as directors or haven't directed very much yet. And then they also opened it up to the public. So tonight there are going to be 10 films. And not only is it Eva Longoria and Jamie Foxx and the other celebrities, but it's also five filmmakers who just took it upon themselves to look at the photographs, take some inspiration from that, make a movie. Hundreds and hundreds came in.
Yeah, I saw the commercials that were running for.
Bryce and I were the judges on that. And we absolutely blown away by the creativity, and that's honestly what I really like about the whole project. Is it's terrific if Jamie Foxx gets to make a movie, but it's not surprising if it's cool.
Right.
But when you get these movies coming in, ambitious movies, really incredibly creative, incredibly entertaining, and you realize that that's one of the things that technology is doing.
Isn't it amazing what's available to the amateur or layman as far as technology goes? Stuff that wasn't available to professionals just a few years ago.
Well, and the whole thing is kind of blending because on the movie Rush that's out right now. The
Congrats, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
I really had a great time.
You got to be proud of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
But anyway, sorry.
Well, part of our challenge was to try to, recreate this world in a very authentic, very personal, intense, particular sort of way. And we wound up using Canons a lot, not because I came in and said, we got to use Canons, but Dodd Mantle, who is extremely experimental and did a fantastic job with Rush, really pushing the envelope, and he always has using technology, and among his tools, and a great solution for a lot of our problems turned out to be the Canon professional models, and so it's the two worlds are kind of blending.
No big Panaflex or.
Not so much.
Something like
not
that.
so much.
It is amazing.
We had all kinds of cameras. I mean,
I bet,
and again, that's what was required. And it was an interesting challenge because speaking of technology, we used every tool in the contemporary movie makers kit to try to hopefully make audiences feel like they were just transported back into the 70s and experiencing that world and those characters. So it was a tremendous creative challenge, and it was it was made a lot easier due to technology.
Have you seen technology hurting the storylines at all, or hurting some of the writing in movies?
I don't think so, and a lot of people say that, going back to when digital editing first really came in 15, 20 years ago, and I personally don't, but my mind sort of is attracted to variety. Options, that's why I make a lot of different kinds of movies.
Absolutely,
to me, the whole thing's kind of an exploration, and so anything that makes the creative process leaner is also then naturally becomes more personal. And so for me, I'm feeling that I can get to what was in my mind a lot more often now than I could even, 8-10 years ago.
Yeah, because you've been through filmmaking throughout where you had to, sit there and literally cut the film.
Yeah, I've got my 8mm splicer at home.
So it has to. I would almost think it leaves more time for the creativity to not have to worry that you're going to take such a chunk of time to do stuff now that you could do a lot faster.
It ought to work that way, but you know how it is with the man. If they know you can do it faster, they want it faster.
Okay.
If they know you can do it cheaper, they want it cheaper.
Yeah.
But what it does is, I just think it creates a kind of fluidity. I think there are more options. I think the danger is if people start spinning so fast that they don't stop and they really think about what their story is. They don't think about an innovative way of doing it. They just kind of, they just sort of blast into it and do everything on the fly. That style was something that we applied to Rush, but it was not done on the fly. Right. It was very conscious, very thoughtful.
It's kind of like
we had a goal.
the 3D technology. When it first hit, they didn't really care about the story as much. It's just like, wow, now you can see movies in 3D. And finally, they're starting to realize, okay, people are over that. Now we still got to make an interesting film.
Well, I don't know, 5, maybe 7 years ago, Bob Zemeckis, a peer of mine and a friend, was a great innovator. He did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Back to the Future movies, always pushing the envelope visually. But he gave a great quote, which he said, soon audiences are going to recognize that visually anything's possible.
Right.
And what's it going to mean? It's just going to bring everything back to story and character and what does it all add up to.
You could look at them. I mean, there are movies that are visually amazing and they're not good movies because the story's terrible, and vice versa. There's great stories that use barely anything as far as effects go, and that's great. So it's always story-driven, I think, is the most important thing.
With that said, did you see Gravity? And what do you think?
I haven't seen it. I've been working.
You haven't seen it?
It hasn't opened in Europe yet, and that's where I've been.
Oh, okay.
And so I've heard nothing but great things. I think it's going to be
just amazing,
stunning. I think it's a fantastic fall shaping up, and
do you have a love-hate with movies like that? Like, because if it's one that you haven't done, you're like, that's great. Oh, I hate it. Because it's hard to watch it.
Well, Rush is a lot about rivalry, and so I've been thinking a little bit about this as it relates to, anytime the award season comes along, Rush got a lot of good reviews. It makes you, wonder, are you on the bubble? Is the film in the mix?
You do care about that still?
Of course, because it's a matter of pride,
sure.
and it means a lot to the movie, and it means a lot to the people. In this case, the editors did stellar work. The cinematographer, fantastic work.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's score is remarkable. So there are a lot of categories. Daniel Bruhl, who played Niki Lauda, is just did
amazing
career level work. So you're not only rooting for the movie, but you're rooting for those people as well. But of course, so you look at it and you see a great movie, and I'm still very much a fan. So I don't see it and start resenting it. It's the car ride home where I say, what does that person know that I don't know? Damn it! Howard, get with it.
But you've worked with Tom Hanks, obviously. Yes. Did you see Captain Phillips?
Captain Phillips is great.
Really.
I did see that. That opened.
The end, what he pulls off in that. Examination.
Don't give it away.
Don't give anything away.
I won't. I'm just saying it's
Wilson
amazing.
Came back.
All you have to know is, Tom Hanks is he makes it look kind of easy, but he's a dedicated artist and he's a great talent and a great guy to work with. But what a year. Broadway, Captain Phillips. He's been given a lot of accolades, but he deserves everyone that comes his way.
You've worked with him early in Splash, and then later on in Apollo 13. What kind of difference did you notice at all in his acting or
I think at the beginning he really thought he was going to be a comedic actor.
Right.
And I think that's he began in theater, and then he made his breakthroughs in television and then movie comedies, and it had been about 10 or 11 years. We stayed friendly, and I certainly saw all of his movies, and I saw what was happening to him, his broadening, the kinds of roles he was tackling. But when I started directing him in Apollo 13, it was interesting because the moments in between the dialogue, the moments in between the scripted, intentional, planned ideas were suddenly rich and really alive. And to me, that's sort of when he was and it was happened prior to Apollo 13. He had become a great screen actor, one of those guys that holds the screen because there's more going on than just what the writer wrote.
Yeah.
There's parts of when you watch him act that you can tell it's him. It's an odd thing. There's this sense of humor that he has. There's a scene in Apollo 13, as a matter of fact, when they're having that argument on board the ship, and then he has to talk on the radio, and he goes down real low, back in control. And that was so Tom Hanks. It was kind of a funny moment, and I thought that was really
good
brilliant.
acting is supposed to be bringing you into the character, which is...
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
Isn't it really a little... I know, no, trust me.
Well, it's...
We just know radio.
Tom's also a good writer, and he's a good director, and so he's all the great actors do. They not only know how to bring their character to life, but they also really understand what's going on, and they have a good communication going with the director, and a real sensitivity to what the movie needs. And the best actors not only show up and do a great job with their role, but they also know how to ask smart questions, tough questions, and keep sort of they're sort of a creative X factor on a movie.
See, Ron, I feel the best method of acting is I like to let the other person finish their dialogue, and when their lips stop moving, I fire my line.
He mouths their dialogue.
I know you're bullshit, my line.
That's it. Hand me a lollipop.
Oh, my God.
But I want to ask you a question. With all this chaos that's surrounding some of these young child stars that have ascended into adulthood and had all these problems. You are the epitome of the child star, but the success story. What do you think was the difference for you? I love how your brother's in it. We just watched The Grinch, talk about a kid. We watched The Grinch last night, and you see Clint, and we just see all the, it's just great.
I
love
Clinton.
that you guys...
It is Tranya, Captain.
I've got to tell him.
I love it.
Hopefully Clint hears about this. I'll tell him. I'm going to email Clint.
That's my favorite part of just to find him and all that.
He's great. He's a really good, strong character actor. And look, we our parents were terrific and did a great job. I don't really know because this is just my life, and except that I know I always liked it. I never had confusion over it. I never had ambivalence about, is this really what I want to be? And this would even, even when, not to go to some play, but when you're adolescent and you're struggling, you're not getting as much work, and bullies are teasing you, or kids are are hassling you. They used to sing the Andy Griffith theme song while I was at the free throw line trying to shoot free throws. The opposition team. Miss it, OB. But that stuff was never too great a trade-off. In other words, I loved going to work, and I loved being a part of this creative process, and and so I didn't have that ambivalence. I didn't struggle with that.
Between the Andy Griffith Show and Happy Days was kind of not really. You were obviously working, but not as much as.
Well, there's a period
time
when you reach a point where the child labor laws make it really impractical.
Oh, wow!
Because if you could get somebody who's over a certain age, now it's I think lowered a little bit to 16. There's kind of a margin, but it used to be 18. If you could get somebody who looks, say, 14 or 15, but is 18, they can work all hours, just like any adult. But the 15-year-old, 16, 17-year-old is still limited by child labor laws.
Right.
It's just a very practical issue, and it just naturally sort of crushes any momentum.
Yeah, that shuts you out of roles, obviously.
How are you feeling about TV these days? Because TV is getting a newfound respect as far as shows like Breaking Bad and
you were great on great on Arrested Development.
Yes,
that was terrific.
I love being a part of Arrested Development, and it's back to technology. Arrested Development never would have come back had it not been first the internet, then DVDs, then Netflix. And without a question, television to me has sort of evolved into this. It's always been great work is great work, and it's always been there on TV. But you know, I love what's happening there.
As a filmmaker, I'm sure you see it's gotten a newfound respect where legitimate actors, let's say, are willing to do TV. Yeah.
For one thing, they've shortened the schedule so that actors don't feel like they're signing their entire career away
right
if they
on
commit
some
to
kind of a treadmill.
series.
Yeah,
and writers as well. And also, again, back to technology. The television shows are able to operate on a reasonable enough budget and yet be a little more cinematic, and a little more ambitious. And cable has allowed the freedom for them to be as authentic and true to life as movies. So, you know, we're no question, we're in a whole entertainment, technology, social revolution. And you know, it's exciting on a lot of levels. It's daunting on a lot of levels. It's upsetting the economy in certain ways, and you know, and so it's. I don't know if people in the middle of the Industrial Revolution or the Renaissance knew what was happening to them
at the time, but in hindsight,
but we're in it.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Just gotta go.
Oh man,
Roland's
Roland's freaking out.
This was a nice surprise.
Thank you.
We love having Ferran too. We want to plug P1. Am I saying that right? P110 goes live on Yahoo's screen.
Yeah, P10, right?
Oh, P10. Okay.
Project Imagination, spelled with
wow.
T.
Oh, that's great.
What a dope I just sounded like.
You were blinded by how pretty she was. That's all. That's all.
Thank you. No, always fun to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ron. Ron Howard, everyone. We're going to take a quick break. Stay there.
The Opie and Anthony Show. The Opie and Anthony Show. On Sirius XM.
Tammy.
Yes, sir.
We kind of blew you off.
Oh,
Sorry, Tammy. What's the plug? Because we got John McEnroe coming in now.
My Netflix special next Friday.
Okay, Netflix next Friday. Tammy Pescatelli. Hi, John.
What's up? John.
What's going on?
How's it going?
John McEnroe.
You know, Tammy, this is John.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
John McEnroe. How's it going?
Do you remember when we did your TV show?
I remember that. Remember that?
I didn't have that many guests.
That was fun. I do remember.
We had
that.
a good time.
That was fun, man.
That was fun.
Yeah.
How long did the show last?
6 months.
6 months?
6 months.
What do you think? What doomed it? Was it the network kind of telling you not to do what you wanted to do, or?
Maybe I wasn't given the proper amount of time like some of these other people. Actually, I signed to do it on CNBC because I knew that no one was watching CNBC at 10 o'clock at night. So I figured I'd get like at least a year, if not 2, to figure out how to do this. Because it's different, obviously, asking the questions than it is answering them.
Right.
Yeah. It's trickier, you know. So
you have to listen.
I figured this was the perfect vehicle to try to, but then they seem to be like it had to be done quickly.
I know it's old news, but they should have gave you a real chance. You on TV is always good.
Yeah. The co-host, it was like before the show. Can't even hear myself think here.
There it is. There it is.
So the co-host right before this guy, we were like, look, this isn't working at all. This is just, we got to get somebody else. And they're like, no, I think this will work.
Right.
And it just was like complete oil and water.
Wow, yeah.
And we got to get somebody else. No. And all the producers were like, we got to get rid of this guy. But there was somebody, he must have had some info on some people.
One other point, then we can move on to other things. We've been lucky enough to do a few TV shows in our careers. You had the scariest audience ever. I don't know where they. I don't know where they busted. Remember? I don't know where they bust them in from.
Only half of them are homeless.
It was homeless. It was homeless and crazy people.
There was some guy right in the front row that was like stink-eyeing us the whole time.
We're like, wow.
I would have protected you. You should have called him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was
troublemaker.
We were over in New Jersey. You know, that's not the easiest place to get
an audience.
To get some
it wasn't
live
like
audience.
If they got the next movie that Will Ferrell was in, although he was nice enough to be my first guest, which was nice. It wasn't like, all right, let's do the McEnroe show. Forget Letterman and now Jimmy Fallon and.
Since you did interviews and you had to go kind of like work that muscle, do you find that you give interviews any different? Because since I've been doing this, when I do interviews now, I find like I know what the other guy's going through on the other side, so I try to fill the space a lot better than I would have before I did interviews on the other side.
Yeah, I think you understand the good guys, if you're doing well, let you do your thing. Letterman was always great at that. He seemed to be able to sort of sense if you needed a little bit of a help or a nudge. And if you seemed to be going rather well, he'd sort of sit back and let you do your thing. So The easier ones were when guys that came on with a lot of energy or knew what they were doing. It's the guys that were sort of, or girls, where you felt like you were pulling blood from a stone.
What do you call it? Pulling
and then I'm like, wait a second.
Yes.
That was where, because people were saying, look, you got to be yourself more, which I felt like eventually I wanted to sort of do some of that. I didn't want to just go, you cannot be serious.
Right.
The first line.
It would come off as insincere.
Yeah.
So, and also, it wasn't that easy getting guests. So a lot of people were nice enough to come on, including some people I knew or had known for many years or seen, like an Elton John was nice enough to come. I'm not going to go blast the guy. You know, he's coming. He's going out of his way to come on this show.
You're going to just yell at him.
So tell us, why did you really get married that time? You know, some heavy talk about. So it just seemed like it never had a chance to figure out what to do. I mean, with an audience, without an audience. I'm obviously not a comedian, but I thought it's. What I always liked about shows like late night shows or talk shows is when they come on and do a couple jokes, sort of loosen people up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't pretending I was going to be Letterman or Leno or whoever else, Jimmy Fallon even. He's not a stand-up per se, but he started to do it, or maybe was he a stand-up?
I worked with Jimmy before he got SNL. Yeah, I think he was a younger stand-up though.
So forget I said that.
Yeah.
But I sort of wanted to do a little bit of that, or at least do some skits. I always thought the first 5 minutes of a show should be funny and bring people in and lighten them up a bit.
Sure.
And they didn't seem to really want to do that. You're not a comedian. Yeah, that's true. But if we did something funny, but we had no writers.
You're
the
a funny
first 4
guy,
or 5
though.
months of the show,
Jesus.
no writers at all.
None.
I'm like, David Letterman, who's a brilliant comedian, has got 15. And I'm some ex-tennis player, and I've got none. So how does...
I didn't know that.
That's crazy. Finally, in the last couple months of the show, we got a couple writers that we were able to hire while trying to unload a couple of people that didn't seem to be fitting that well with the show.
How much stress were you feeling, knowing you had no writers to kind of help you out a little bit?
I'm definitely feeling some stress. I think the toughest part was doing so many 3, 4, 5 shows a week.
Right.
I mean, you guys probably know something about that. But on TV, when you're sort of come on and you feel like you're constantly doing homework, because I wanted to sort of feel like, sorry, I'm not looking over that way.
That's okay. No, I totally get it.
This console's set up like that
it's sort
to
of
be
set
a
up this
snob.
Way. It's a guy setup.
I don't take that's right. I don't take it. I don't take it.
She doesn't really
personally.
matter.
But it's tough to even sort of know a lot about. You want to feel like you want to ask something that not everyone has asked, and you feel like you're constantly doing homework. What was that I missed?
I said it. She doesn't really matter anyway.
That's right.
But I'm not going to go there.
Sorry. You mean watching a movie just because that person's coming on, or reading a book just because they're coming on?
Exactly.
And
Which in some cases is good.
But if a book stinks, there's nothing worse than plowing through a dog shit book.
This was a really boring book. But,
well, we just make believe we didn't see the movie. A lot of times we're forced to see the movie or read the book, and if it stinks, we'll just make believe we didn't see the movie.
Oh yeah, we're gonna catch it.
Or if we don't like it, then we'll definitely bring up how bad the movie was.
Have you done that?
Oh God, yeah, because we do this every day. We kind of do things just to kind of entertain ourselves. Put someone in a tough spot in this room.
Or you find the one good thing in the movie, like the jackets. What a terrific job.
Obsessed about the jackets. I think, John, you're promoting Dove. Are you the new spokesperson?
I am the new spokesperson for the Dove campaign, Dove Men's Plus Care deodorant. Anti-irritation. So I sort of fit into that. If you can calm John McEnroe down.
I get that.
But actually, I mean, in some cases, it makes sense, and to me, this one does, because I'm part of Dove's a big sponsor of the marathon. Okay, so we're sort of focusing in. I did some online videos and commercials on to sort of promote after what happened last year, not even having the marathon.
Yep.
Earlier this year with Boston, I think this brings an added significance to this one being spectacular and great. So for me, being a New Yorker all my life, living on the Upper West Side, going to the marathon, watching it, seeing these lunatics run 26.2 miles, the idea of sort of partnering with Dove, Men Plus Care, seemed to make sense. And I got to be a coach and not have to do the marathon this year. So if they like what I do, maybe... I'll give myself a year, possibly. I mean, I'm pretty fit, but I'm not fit enough or quite wacky enough to run that type of distance. So maybe next year.
I like seeing this version of you because you live in our neighborhood. I see you a lot. And you are so not approachable.
That's not true.
Wow. It's just you.
I guess the days when you
approaching me all the time.
You got the hat, the glasses, and you're
He's
like.
got somewhere to go.
No, I don't
loser.
I don't even mean that in a bad way. I don't even mean that in a bad way. But wow, I like this version.
Well, then where do you live? On the Upper West Side?
Yeah, near the river.
Okay, so to me, there's more and more buses, tourists coming along, and I sort of feel like I'm coming back from my gym or workout or in the park, and then they go, and walking up the street now is John McEnroe. I just don't want them to say either A, like they're taking pictures of B, who the hell's John McEnroe? I need to hopefully get a little bit of solace during that time where I've had a good workout, walk back home, sort of. I love the city, but it's getting a little hectic and seems to be more crowded than ever.
I don't want to confuse it. I understand. I mean, I understand that you don't want to be bothered all the time. That's all I'm saying.
And by the way, I actually probably, which is the good news, 99% of the people who do come up to me say nice things.
Yeah.
Which the percentage has gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite 99 for a while.
A few ugly years there in the 80s.
There were some ugly years.
I used to love watching you play tennis, man. I think a lot of people
I love
say
that documentary that they just did recently about the
Fire and
rivalry,
Ice.
And I love, were you happy that Bjorn was bald?
He is?
Yeah, he's bald now.
No, he isn't. I wish he was. No,
you have to be happy.
No, he's not bald at all. He's got a great head of hair.
No, it's all
you must
short
be
and
thinking. You must be.
shorn.
Well, it's short, but it's.
Because it looks like it's.
She's
You
talking
can
about
barely
Bjorn.
see
She's
it
talking
there.
about Bjorn Borg. We did a documentary, Fire and Ice. It was on HBO about a year and a half
really
ago.
Good.
And it was great to do that, especially with Bjorn, because we have this incredible history. And only guy that I've ever played against, probably, that I didn't have a problem with. We didn't get into some type of fight on or off the court, so we had a lot of fun together on especially memorable matches. Off the court, we had a lot of fun. Great friends. So to be able to do this now, but he's got that sweet hair. I'm very envious of his hair. He could grow it long. Yeah, absolutely.
Why did you have a problem with most of the guys you played?
It's how you become a great athlete.
Is he
You're
acting
competitive,
as my
right?
psychiatrist now? Or?
Yeah, that's probably how
Do
you
I get a
become
free
an elite
session?
athlete.
Let's move to the couch over there. And,
Yes.
you need some
It's a little
tissues?
uncomfortable, this chair.
Who hurt little Johnny?
It was great to watch, though. That's what I hate all this sportsmanship. It's too much sportsmanship.
I did have, since this is satellite and you guys like racy stuff, I'll give you, and Jim mentioned this, that I was brought up Catholic. I'm going to say something I never told anyone. No. A number of years ago, the priest that was in my parish was arrested for inappropriate activity. So, and I was unaware of this. So my mom calls me and says, "John, did you hear? I'm not going to mention names. Did you hear about the father?" And I said, "No, I didn't." Well, he was arrested for, child molesting, etc. So I go, God, that's too bad. That's horrible. I mean, I never would have thought that with him. And then she says, there was this hesitation. And she said, "Did he ever do anything to you?" And then I realized, Jim, that could have been my out for everything I had ever done.
Yes. And sometimes we still get together.
Maybe you're angry because he didn't.
Yeah.
Did you? Recently, it came out that people are saying that Bobby Riggs had thrown that big match against Billie Jean King. Did you?
Well, we always thought that.
Oh, you did?
Really? We always thought that because he's a huge gambler. I mean, I played Bobby Riggs in golf once. Me and Arthur Ashe beat Jimmy Connors and Bobby Riggs in golf, and they wouldn't pay us. They said, "Let's keep playing another 9 holes." We don't want to play anymore. We want the money. No. And then they wouldn't. "You're not paying us." Well, that's because you won't keep playing. So he was one of these guys that always was hustling. And he beat Margaret Court, who happened to be one of the top female players before he played Billie Jean King, badly. But he was a rather aged guy. Actually, he was somewhere in the neighborhood of how old I am now. I think he was 55, 56 possibly when he played Billie Jean King. And the way he played, how pathetic he performs. made guys believe, or maybe we wanted to believe, that this pathetic performance was due to the fact, and rumor had it that he had done this. Now, having now at 54 years of age and the body sort of giving out more often, you could see why there'd be certain days where it wouldn't be that great a day, where you could possibly have had a bad day. And I would say that it's a little bit harder to say definitively that did happen, although I'd like to check his bank account and to see. But I think
money down on her, yeah.
Well, it turned out great for, I mean, obviously, girl sports. I mean, I have four. I have 4 girls and 2 boys.
You raised them all, right?
I did raise them all.
You got
not by myself. By Patty Smythe and I have been together for 19.
Kids?
Yeah, 6 kids.
Wow.
2 marriages. Yeah. Wow. So that is a loud dinner table.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Because I had all the kids, I had full custody of the 3. I had retained them for a long time, the last 15 years. And so there was some definite energy flowing at the table. A lot of maybe possibly yelling and screaming a bit, but in a loving way.
Right. Yeah. In a loving way, yeah.
In a loving way. It's great to have kids. It keeps you some sort of good perspective. What about you, Jim? What's your story?
Never had kids. Never even came. I feel like I realize what it is. I'm a sex addict, but B, I think I'm afraid of like once you get married, once you have kids, then adulthood starts. And even though I know intellectually where I'm at in my life, I'm fucking close to being finished. But it scares me to acknowledge that in a way that's undeniable. Like with a kid, you can't deny that kid's getting older and you're getting older. I think that's what's freaked me out. Or maybe I'm just selfish and I don't like taking care of anything.
Yeah, me too.
It's probably
very
both.
selfish.
Yeah, a combination. I'm very immature though.
What about the fact that you're not going to have a little one? Don't you want to have someone like a little Jim Norton?
I don't know.
It's only good so you don't go to a nursing home.
Wouldn't that be unbelievable to see that?
It's kind of cool.
See
I gotta
if
tell you.
the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. I got 2.
Oh, my friends are all happy that Opie's got one, but Anthony and Colin Quinn are my last 2 holdouts of people.
They're going to have one together.
Now, the Colin...
We're working on it.
We're working on it every day.
Yeah, Colin is fighting homosexuality at every turn. Because Colin's not married and he has no kids. Ant's been married, but he has no kids. So a couple of my friends are still holding out. But, I don't know.
I just got a kitten.
Does that count?
No? You prefer the hookers and strippers, right?
You know what?
Because I hear all your stories, and it just sounds like you've never been with a girl that hasn't at least stripped. From what I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I think you're right.
Can you imagine in a normal, maybe they are normal.
Yeah, there's no Kmart cashier that wants this.
I think you're right
life.
there.
You got to give me an answer to that, though. Jim, before I always wanted to ask you that.
It's what was the question?
The question was, have you ever, I mean, you obviously prefer strippers and hookers.
Sometimes I do, but sometimes, no, there's times where I like, it's hard for me because my threshold is so high with what I need to not even to get off, but just to be stimulated, that it's hard to find regular girls who can kind of go to that. But I've had a few girlfriends who just read men really well, and a girl who can like own you, that's what I want. And usually women in the sex business understand the male mentality enough to kind of know what you want. And I don't even mean just sexually, but like mentally when you're fantasizing.
But that's the physical side of a relationship. Have you ever felt like you've been in love?
He doesn't respect a girl. Once she goes to that level, he probably
Have you
doesn't
ever
want to
been
hang
in
out
love?
with a regular girl.
Absolutely. I love my ex-girlfriend very much. I loved the girl before her, who was just a really nice girl and not a pervert. I loved both of them tremendously and truly, but my selfishness overrode my love.
While you were loving them truly, were you out with strippers and hookers?
Well, yeah, it's a funny point you raised, John.
Not to get away from the topic.
No, you're not wrong.
This would have kept the show on the air, John. You had the wrong guess. You had the wrong guess.
It doesn't irritate.
Especially with things I was doing.
Irritation. So when things get a little...
I would have rubbed Dove deodorant on my mouth.
Actually, it might have been more for your girlfriends, but this is, guy deodorant. Sorry.
Well, yes, but I did do things I shouldn't have done, but I still love them. Because the way I looked at it is when I was drinking, I stole from my mother and my grandmother to drink, and I stole from my father to drink. And I love them. So it's like sometimes you cheat in a relationship, you still love the person, but just serving that other need becomes so much more. Doesn't mean
it almost made sense.
It almost
That's the same rap he gave them before they left.
Exactly.
That's a great point. When they found that inappropriate text, I'm like, let me explain it.
Let me
This goes
explain
way
what that
back.
is. It's me showing my
You got to
love
give
for
it
you.
a shot. Roll the dice.
I'm a bit upset because when Shaq was promoting Dove, he gave his product, John McEnroe.
Oh, man.
I think there's product around for you guys.
All right, okay.
Wow.
I want to make
It's all
sure.
different.
They do the Real Woman campaign for the women, right?
Yeah.
Like they have those pictures of those chicks that are just regular in their underwear. And
This timing is good for me, though, because my wife recently started to say, hey, listen, maybe you should start wearing some deodorant. So, thankfully, Dove Men Plus Care. I mean, you have a strong scent. I love it, honey. But
Did you wear deodorant for years?
there was a period of years where I didn't wear it. Yeah, I went all natural.
What was that? Was there a thinking behind it, or did you not like what it did to you, or did you just not care about
A
it?
combination of it, just not into it. This, people are getting stronger and stronger scents, and it didn't seem to be working as well. But I finally found the right anti-irritation, antiperspirant formula.
There it is.
There you go.
No, so it's good timing because
I use all Dove products because of Shaq. He came in here with that stuff. I tried it for the first
what
time.
was
and I'm
Shaq
all
using?
in.
The soap or the?
It was
I
the
think the deodorant and the soap he brought.
It was the body soap.
Or there's a few things. I use the deodorant. I know that it was great.
And the deodorant I use, yeah.
And with the deodorant, I'm weird. Like I like sometimes when a woman doesn't wear it. If the chemistry, no, but I do.
John's laughing, of course.
But if the chemistry is right, I love that. I don't want. I told girls, I'll
if the
fucking
chemistry is
throw
right,
your deodorant out if you bring it over
but-
my house.
Wow, if it's not right, that's brutal.
Yeah, but you don't want to be with a person like that anyway. That's got that foul, awful scent that you. That's nature just telling you like, don't reproduce.
When they're barking.
You're talking about a blubber below the belt.
Moldy.
Both.
Yeah.
Just somebody being, clean.
Everybody knows, and you
Clean
know when
is
you
important.
stink.
You want clean.
Take a shower.
I don't mind. I like clean. I like clean, but a little natural is kind of sexy.
We
too.
used to have guys in the tennis circuit back in the day. I mean, things are tough in a lot of places, but in these countries where I guess they didn't have access to running or hot water that often, they'd play a 3-hour match. They'd come into the locker room, take their clothes off, they get a little deodorant, spray it on, and no shower.
Oh,
Wow, that must have
I
been
mean, it
bad.
was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Hey, we got some hot water. You can take a warm bath.
that's horrible.
And the smell after like 3-4 days of the shirt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that musky, awful. People get that sometimes. They leave their clothes in the washing machine
Yeah,
too long
moofa.
before
It's like
drying,
a-
and that mildew smell. It's like fucking terrible.
Do you still play tennis?
I still
never
play.
played.
Jim? Or, no, I actually still play quite a bit. I play on sort of an old fogies, seniors. I try to be the Rolling Stones of the tennis court.
Right, that's got to be annoying. It
I mean,
has
they're
to
doing
be.
pretty well, right? So you look at the acts that are still out there, it's incredible.
Right.
So that's sort of I go out with Borg or now Agassi got like guys, Sampras. I mean, guys ranging from a few years older to 10, 15 years younger.
Right. Because there's a lot of you top athletes, when you leave your sport, you don't even touch it anymore.
Well, tennis is
There's
one
a-
that you could actually play. That
Yeah,
had to
no,
be
I understand,
difficult,
yeah,
right?
but-
No, I meant, you'd have to find people of your caliber to play because you can't just play with us.
Well, I have a tennis academy up at Randall's Island, for example, where I'm trying to find the next great American player and try to nab
do a
some
reality
athletes
show.
that play basketball or football and try to get them into tennis, which is it's not very affordable and accessible and other things. That's a whole other topic, but certainly it would be nice to bring the buzz back. It's sort of, to me, I mean, it was a great time in the 70s and 80s. Part of the problem is obviously there's a lot more choices on TV. There's, I mean, if you had told me that our ratings would be half of what golf was, I would have laughed at you when we were playing, and we get sometimes outrated by chess or poker.
Jesus Christ.
So you got to go out and reach out and grab fans. I mean, it's a great sport, but we haven't done nearly enough. So we sort of fallen back a bit, and the best athletes in our country aren't necessarily playing tennis.
Well, that excitement factor is not there. I mean, obviously, when you were playing, it was fantastic that the unpredictability. Now there's so much political correctness, and if somebody even goes a little off kilter or says something weird, there's this apology tour they got to go on, and so everybody, it's taken that spontaneity and fun and unpredictability out of a lot of sports.
Do you know when
by the way.
in baseball, the guy, I mean, you saw it. I don't know if you saw the game last night, but they made that brutal call in the first inning or whatever, and then both managers come out and they're screaming, and people love that, right? But they don't have the mic right there. They're probably not saying, hello, how are you?
Right.
That would be the great job, pal.
Yeah.
But we don't have the power for whatever reason. I mean, if you're on a football field during the Jet New England game, something tells me that they're not out there when they're banging into each other saying, good hit.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there saying things that aren't printable or you don't want to hear.
No, but everyone would love to hear that.
Well, they'd love to hear it, but it's almost, in a way, it's sort of nice if you don't, but you know that it's happening.
You know it's happening, right.
In tennis, they heard everything we were saying and magnified. So it was like, oh, my God, John McEnroe said shit. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
You suck, to the umpire. And all of a sudden, I'm Attila the Hun.
Meanwhile, you're right. Every other sport, they're saying things 10 times worse.
And so we weren't protected. And so then they thought it was like, oh, the inmates are running the asylum, me and Connors and Nastasi, so they have to, stop that.
Right.
Which I think was a huge mistake instead of sort of shifting it and handling it a different way.
It's also because tennis and things like golf are individual sport. Like a team sport doesn't really need the help, but I think the individual sports, they need a couple of personalities that almost rise above the sport, which ropes people in. And you did that for tennis. I think
Tiger did it for golf.
Tiger did it for golf. I think the Williams
sisters
sisters had part of it. Were very, very intriguing in tennis. But
it's a great story.
You don't have enough big personalities in tennis lately.
You have to encourage personality, which they discourage.
Right.
You're totally right. Like boxing, you want to know what's wrong with boxing? They're all guys that seemingly they're from Kazakhstan or Russian people. I mean, they're good fighters, but they're not.
You don't have a good personal backstory or connect to them, right? Yeah,
and we do need in a sport. I mean, it helps if you have a great American. Right now, we have 4 of the best players, maybe the 2 greatest players that ever lived, Nadal, Federer. But it doesn't have that same sort of interest level, even though they're incredible, that if we had an American in the mix that was sort of battling these guys, I think obviously it helps. So, I mean, that's why it's so important to find some.
We like knowing the personalities of people and having them be different, not just robotic sports players, but they kind of take that and squash it. In football, they don't want him spinning the ball or celebrating or anything. It's kind of fun.
Look what they did to Terrell Owens. I mean, whether you liked him or hated him, it was a personality, and they took it right out of him. All those.
Wait a minute, they did?
Everything.
I know what you're intimating, but I don't think they took it out of him. But he probably would have been better off playing tennis, because he's an individual in a team game. But he was about, I think some people would say that it was about him. I think it was pretty safe to say that this guy was a phenomenal athlete, that was a great football player, maybe borderline Hall of Fame player, but he was all about Terrell Owens.
It may be that way.
He himself was out of the game because finally they got numerous chances by numerous teams, and it continued to be more and more
Allen Iverson in baseball, or basketball. He did that to himself. But Terrell was a great athlete when he played the game with his team.
So was Allen Iverson.
Allen was a great athlete, but I think he wasn't X'd out by the management.
You should have we'll do a poll. Who's it more about themselves? Allen Iverson, Terrell Owens, and try to come up with a couple other names. Chad Ochocinco.
It's individuals in a team sport.
You change your name to Ochocinco. You're wanting some publicity.
Right, and then you have to change your number.
Do you your wife? She's still
she's still well. She hasn't done much. Yeah. I mean, with the 6 kids that we've had 2 together, has complicated things. But we've been together 19 years. She's actually. I mean, she should be doing this more to me, because she's one of the few people that I've seen at her age that still hit the notes and sing the same key that she sang when she sang "Goodbye to You" 30 years ago.
And we always rock out.
And she's also looks good still, and she. I mean, so to me. I'd like her to get out there, but obviously it has to. Well, she's written a lot of great songs. To me, I hear these songs that she's written. I'm like, get it out there, but. Obviously, in this business now, it's difficult to know how to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
The way to do it, the right producer.
Totally different business now.
It's so different and I'm just like, just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy for me to say. Am I getting kicked out? Or?
No, your people. I guess you're promoting a lot of people. No, this was great.
Hopefully, Patty will do a record.
That'd
be, you guys have her on would be awesome.
Oh, you wouldn't have
there's all these great tunes.
Yeah.
It's Dove Men Care. They're saying even another interview.
Oh, damn it.
DoveMenCare.com. And, I really like John McEnroe a lot.
John's a lot of
fun.
fun.
Come back and see us, John.
What's your
come and visit?
Are you on good terms with the ex-wife, or it's always up and down with you guys?
We're on pretty good terms. We don't talk at all. That is perfect term.
Do you throw something through the TV when like Paper Moon comes on?
Well, Paper Moon was a great movie.
Paper Moon was a great movie.
It was the reality show that probably put
her first two movies were Bad News Bears and Paper Moon.
Great movies.
So that's a hell of a start.
That is a hell of a start.
And when we met, she was 20.
Wow.
And I was 24.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And so
time ago.
she's about, I'm going to throw her under the bus here a little bit, but she's about in a few weeks to turn the big 5-0.
Right.
And so to me, I am part of this. I'd like to say it was all her fault. Yeah. We had 3 kids in 5 years, and she was 22 to 27. So when I look back now, when I have from perspective, I'm thinking that was a lot to throw on anyone's plate. Particularly when she's got like as insane a situation that she grew up in. So I try to have some sympathy for what I threw her into as well as I was throwing myself into. We didn't know.
It's interesting the fact that you were like the bad guy that was taking America's little sweetheart and corrupting her or being like who you are. And then do you feel like any kind of redemption after a while and realize that people actually went, wait a minute, she was a little batshit crazy and fucking John's a pretty good guy.
That wasn't a bad way to end it.
He really has to go.
Thanks so much for coming
Good to see you guys. Take care.
Tammy, where you at? We're out of here today.
Awesome. Netflix next.
Damn it.
Next week? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
You can play some kind of
That's it.
and then I'll pop in. Just play commercials. I'll pop in at some point. All right. I want a picture.
See you guys tomorrow.